Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bracket Breaker 300 here at Charlotte. And we already got a little bit of an overlay issue, so we'll get that fixed real fast. But we're here for the Charlotte Bracket Breaker 300 here on ABN2 for the ARCS Midwest Barbecue A Squared Cup Series. I am Kevin Young here every Sunday to bring you the action. Yep, gonna have to do a quick refresh SDK, so just give me 2 seconds here. We got about... Just to check my watch here, we've got a little bit late. We're going through some technical difficulties here on the side, and there's a nice little graphic to show you all the information. We'll put the time on the board, and you'll see there's about 3 minutes and 30 to go, and John Hagen is currently our pole sitter, ahead of Daniel Michelle, Jonathan Adams, Brandon Featherplace, Pacey Wygant, and Lily Pelletier-Sharp. Will Dale Markowski, who just finished up his second lap here, we'll see if we can get a shot on him. There he is, completing lap number 2. Zach Millett, the back-to-back winner, about to cross the line. He's going to finish his second lap here. And he's going to put the car up at the P2. So we're going to cut to Brandon Proudfoot here. Last driver here to put down a time. Just a little bit, 3 minutes and some change to go here. Sorry about that, Emma. Just gave you a little bit of a jump scare there in the chat. But got this all nice and going here. 2:45 to go. Proudfoot, the last car here to qualify. And you're going to probably be wondering why some of the nut drivers on the left side of the pylon are in different colors here. We'll put that thought in a second as we see Proudfoot cross the line. He will jump to P9, and you'll see there he'll slot. But as the reason why the numbers are currently the way that they are is because we are in the next round, the bracket challenge. We'll go over that bracket and all the other details here just in a second here as we wait for qualifying to finish up. We still got 2 more drivers here left to go. Josh Battles and Mike LaJoy. We'll follow Mike LaJoy here. Actually, no, follow Josh Battles as he's one of the drivers in the bracket challenge here. He's had a Cinderella run at the moment. Very strong driver he is, and he's had some great upsets in said bracket as he's upsetted against he upsetted John Hagen in the first round, current pole sitter, and he upsetted Davey Hawk in the previous round, and now he's battling Ryan Pinnell here tonight to see what driver can make it through. So we'll see as he completes lap number 1 in the book. I'll update both times for LaJoy and Battles. LaJoy jumps 23rd. Battles, looks like his first lap did not count as he has not actually plugged the time here. So second lap is going to be the money lap here for Josh Battles here. Michael Joe, second lap will also count here. So we'll see if either driver can best a 29.78, John Hagen, or the 3-time back-to-back winner of Zach Millett. We'll see if either driver can make a lunge here to clear and put them in a spot to jump up here. So across the line, both drivers will go. Joy jumps up to 18th and Battles really slow across the line. I think he just took that conservatively there, and it will be P33 for the 71. Looks like he just did not want to be in the mumble of the Jets here at Charlotte. Feels confident coming from the back, and we'll actually see Michael LaJoy. I think he's doing a few extra laps here, so we'll let LaJoy pedal down in the pit lane here, and we are going to get ready for the main show here in about a minute's time. So we do that. I'm going to pull up some quick information here. We're going to get some things going for the fastest 5 minutes in e-motorsports. If I can ever find the numbers I'm looking for here. Always be prepared, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else in the audience. And they see Michael Joy pit off here. So now that qualifying is actually pretty much concluded here, we will use this last-minute time here before warm-up to go over the news of the current A-Squared information calendar here. What's happened so far since we last left you off, and what is going on right now at the moment. So let me just make sure everything's good here. We'll take a look at the news. Obviously, as I was alluding to a bit earlier, it is now the quarterfinals of the bracket challenge. Here's a nice little pretty bracket right there to show you how it is going right now at the moment. As you can see right there, Dover was last week. Obviously, Talladega was the week before that. Obviously, this graphic does not take that one into consideration. It takes Dover on up. So Dover, you can see right there, Battles beat Hawk. Pinnell beat Cheney. They will be battling in the quarterfinals here tonight. Seth Wansing was able to outlast Austin Mongold, and Pacey Wygant was able to beat Dale Markowski. Wygant getting a podium, was able to put himself firmly in this challenge, and he'll have a tough battle against Seth Wansing, who are just concluded. So now we'll keep going with the bracket challenge here as well. Stefan Oberstadt and Daniel Michelle both advanced. Oberstadt beating Brandon Proudfoot. That was not a Herculean task, but Proudfoot was able to keep the car clean and stand the lead lap and win that get advancement, while Daniel Michelle beat Kevin Feemster. See, actually, we can find one of those drivers on the bracket challenge and have in the background here. Ryan Pinnell, speaking of, there he is in the 12. We'll follow along with him as we continue on. And last round, Withers and Featherplace. Featherplace beat Withers, and Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp beat Mike LaJoy, so it will be Feather Place and Alyssa Peltier-Sharp in the quarterfinals here at the Bracket Challenge. So keep an eye on the side of your screen here. As the drivers in these battles will be color corresponded with the car they are battling. And remember, highest driver out of those two will advance to the semifinals, and the winner will get a nice little prize. So these drivers still, even if they're not fighting maybe for a championship at the moment, could easily get the momentum and the ties to turn if they get a good performance here. So that also moves on nicely to the other bits of news here. We'll go over the standings here. Obviously, Zach Millet's had a great performance here. Coming in a late performance, has won 3 races. Still not the moment. I don't think he is locked in yet. Still on the outside looking in. But he's looking on the path to try to get himself into the playoffs. Still got a long way to go, but he's making good progress, making good pace. And if he can keep getting good finishes here and get points, he should be at the very least in contention to fight for a championship as the race goes on. Moving a little bit further down here, we'll actually go over the playoff standings at the moment too. Obviously, Brandon Proudfoot still leads the A-squared regular season point standings. He's currently got 266, while Lilac Sear in second at 235. But in the bracket challenge, in the playoff standings, I should say, neither driver has got a win yet. They are 6th and 7th. And if we look at the cut line at the moment, Stefan Oberstadt is last driver in, but only 1 point clear of Seth Wanzing, 2 points clear of Brandon Featherplace, 5 clear of David White, and 9 clear of Josh Gaiman, and 14 clear of Dale Markowski. And the driver watching now, Ryan Pinnell as well. And Oberstadt is 13 points behind Kevin Feemster, who's currently in 15th. So a lot can change here. If a driver further back jumps his way in, they could easily bump one out. And speaking of drivers that currently have wins, Hagen has 2, Millet obviously has 3. Alyssa Peltier-Sharp has 1, Breo has 1, and Emma Kruger has 1. Kruger, Breo, Sharp, and Hagen all in the playoffs. Moving on to the Rookie of the Year standings real fast as well. Lilac Sear obviously has in point standings, well, of the rookies. She will have the lead in the point standings, 10 clear of John Hagen. Liz Peltier-Sharp is 1 point back of Hagen, 11 back of Zier. And the round at the top 5, Pacey Wygent, 29 points back of Lilac Sear, and Kenneth Cheney, 35 points. As again, Zach Millet is in the Rookie of the Year chase. He's currently 136 back of Lilac Sear. It's going to be a long task to climb out, but Millet looking for the challenge. So that is basically the rest of the information we have here, as we got about 2 minutes to go on the clock here. Let me just turn one thing over here. Just give me 2 seconds. We'll turn that off, and we'll turn the right logo on here. Have it off there. There we go. Nice to show you that we're currently at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So, yeah, that is going to be that. You see drivers use this last opportunity here to take pit stops. We'll cut around here. There's Jeremy Breo, winner at the Daytona race to start the season. Currently going around track in a nice new wood shock paint scheme there. Pacey Wygent, another bracket driver here, running a silver paint scheme here in last week, currently through 3 and 4. Practice is a good opportunity for these drivers to basically use this opportunity on the track to learn how to pit ready to exit here. Because pit road, if we get green flag pit stops, it can be a bit tricky. So these drivers have to be on the area game to get in and out of pit lane to make sure they can do it quite well, I should say. Other than that, does this last good chance to make sure the pedals are set up, your car feels good, and everything feels nice. As we are going to get ready here in about a minute's time to get ready to start this race. So if you are watching at home, this is a good chance to get a drink, get a snack, do whatever you need to, and enjoy this race, as this is going to be very fun action here tonight. Probably should invest in a thesaurus, maybe get a few extra words in my book, but sometimes you need these simpler words. Fun can quite describe this. As we were talking last week, if you did catch the interviews, Zach Millet feels like he's poised to get 4 in a row, but a lot of drivers have speed at Charlotte, since obviously it's a track that is included in the base game, that once you pay for an iRacing license, you get that track for free. So a lot of drivers have experience on it, coming up through the street stocks and all that. So this is kind of a track that's an equalizer. A lot of drivers feel confident at Charlotte, and we'll see if they can make that confidence work here. And also, it is, with a next-gen car, quite a good track for action. So it should provide some great entertainment. So his warm-up is officially concluded. It's going to be Jonathan Adams' fastest car there. We'll cut to him in his Carolina Hurricanes machine. He's going to be looking for a good rebound race here. And we are done with warm-up, and we are going to get ready for the race. So warm-up has officially concluded here. We are going to take this opportunity as cars begin to span in here to the pit lane. We'll actually try to get one on the screen here. There's Lily Peltier-Sharp. We'll actually put the John Hagen here. We are going to take a look at the qualifying results here. So we'll pull that up, and here is the starting lineup for the Bracket Breaker 300. Helpful if I start at the top of the list. There we go. John Hagan and Zach Millett, they will be for the front row. Obviously, Zach Millett does not drive for Hollow Boys Racing. He drives for Bandit Racing. Had to remember the name. They had a name change, team change as well. Got to update that one. Danny Michelle and Jonathan Adams for Line Power and Beach Run. They will be in row number 2. Brandon Featherplace, still not 100% why. Obviously, his name's a little bit too long for the box, so every Brandon you see there alone is Featherplace. He'll be in row 3 with Pacey Wygant. Lily Pelletier Sharp and Josh Gaiman. Sharp and Brandon Featherplace, remember, battling in the bracket challenge. 1 row apart from each other. Sharp and Gaiman, Gear Cats teammates, row number 4. Proudfoot and Tom Sears will be in row 5. Emma Kruger, the leader of Gear Cats, and Kenneth Cheney will make up row number 6. Move to the next line here. There we go. We got Lilac Zier and Jeremy Braille. They'll be in row number 7. Steph Wansing, Patrick Oberstadt, Steph Wansing, the bracket challenge, in row number 8. Delayla and Mike LaJoy in row 9. And Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence and Kevin Feemster in row number 10. David Wright and Stefan Oberstadt in row number 11. Remember, Oberstadt in the bracket challenge. Ryan Pennell and Dustin Painter in the next row. Richie Catania and Austin Mongold will be in row number 15. Dale Markowski and James Kerr will be in row number 16. And actually, I'm messing up the numbers here. Sorry about that. And Markowski Kerr will be in the next row. And Hawk and Alfred George will be in row 15. With Ryan Gomes and Ross Baxter in row 16. And last couple cars here, Josh Battles will be the last car in row number 17. And that is how this 33-car field is ready to shape up. So we are going to get ready here. Obviously, caution. We had an extended caution there. If you did end up hearing that, we are going to have 1 extra lap of pacing here. There we go. You can see obviously 200 laps await these drivers. Actually going to flip over to the tower here. This tower provides a little bit more action, a little bit more names to show. You can see the field getting ready here. So see some of the camera shots we have here to kind of provide some angles here. You can see how I wouldn't say crowded it is, but you can see some nice shots here of a nice, brisk Charlotte day. A little bit on the colder side here. Actually, I think we do have a weather stat here. Give me just 2 seconds to see if I can find it. But it's a nice, almost looks like a fall day, but it's a nice spring day here. Actually, let me see if this works. There we go. You can see right there on the weather here, it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit, so actually it's pretty much warmer than I thought it was. 83 track temp there, and 9-mile-an-hour winds blowing, so that could upset the cars just a little bit here. So have to keep an eye on that and make sure the cars end up holding quite nicely. So we are going to get green this time by the 2 drivers that have been masterclassing the field right now. Only 2 drivers, I should say, that have wins so far. Well, double wins, I should say. Multiple wins. John Hagan and Zach Millett. Millett obviously with 3, Hagan with 2. We'll see if they can keep that winning streak going. But look at that second row, for instance. Adams, Michelle, neither driver has a win yet this season. Wygant, Featherplace, neither driver has a win yet. Gaiman doesn't have a win yet. Sharp does. Sears, Proudfoot, neither driver has a win. Well, Proudfoot did win the Clash to start the season, but does not have a points-paying victory. So a lot of hungry drivers in this top 10 looking to upset that front row. So as the pace car gets ready here to pull on off, we are going to see some action. It's going to be on green flag control here. 2 drivers that could be slugging out at Phoenix will take the front row here. Pace car is going to pull off. It's going to be on Hagan's. It's going to be on green flag control here. Green flag is out, and away we go for the Bracket Breaker 300. So as they come off of 4 here, lap number 1 going to be in the books, and it will be John Hagan leading a lap here. He will lead the first lap here, but you can see right there, cars taking position a little bit further back. I believe just right in the back where you can see cars beginning to kind of check up. The 04 Emma Kruger got a little bit pushed off the wall there. She's in kind of trouble here early. You can see Sharp, Gaiman, Gear Cats a little bit of controlling the lanes there. High-low. We see Proudfoot and Wanzing running a new paint scheme. Dale Earnhardt inspired, obviously, though, with the Barbecue, Midwest Barbecue sponsor on it instead of the National Guard. As they race on here, we can see the position at, and we'll cut back to the lead for a second here. As you can see right there, looked like Millet was getting close to getting a position there. Not that, so actually we'll cut back here as they are 2 by 2. And they are fighting hard here. You can see, though, they're about a second back here. The effect is kind of being seen here as they've kind of lost touch to the top 6. And you can see the checkup right there. Ooh, right there, the high side Zier and the 80 at the Layla. They had a bit of a checkup. 3 wide, Wanzing. In a 3 wide spot there, along with Gaiman and Cheney. They'll all keep it clean, though. More importantly, these drivers are not letting up an inch here as they're trying to ensure they can get a good spot here. By the way, the stages are on lap 50 and lap 100, so simple math here. So we're racing to lap 50 for the end of stage number 1. Proudfoot and Wanzing, they're side by side here for what will be 9th position. But Wanzing has to get a move on if he wants to compete in this bracket challenge. His main rival, Pacey Wygen's currently in 6th, and we have a pass for the lead. Zach Millett going to get clear John Hagen. Millett was kind of knocking on the door there. Looked like he may have been a bit patient, but he saw his opportunity and he capitalized. Now Daniel Michelle and Jonathan Adams looking to do the same here. We'll see if they can make a run here, but Millett currently sitting on the point to the lead. With Hagen in 2nd, Michelle in 3rd, Adams 4th, and Featherplace rounding out your top 5 here. So Millett going to lead that lap. He'll add 1 lap to his totals led. Look at that a little bit further back. Wygen making a move on Featherplace. This is top 5 again, and you can see again just how a bit of separation there is. And we'll see if Emma Kruger can get caught up. And if they go side by side, this could allow Emma Kruger in that 2nd pack to slowly reel back in this 1st pack here. Featherplace, though, will keep the charge clean. He'll end up keeping the position, but looked like Daniel Michelle was looking to make a move here on the high side, no less. Could not make it stick, though, and he'll slot back into position for P number 3. So see here, we're checking around positions here. See if any major battles kind of worth noting here. It's kind of got about a 10th gap between both of them here. Everyone's pretty much single file. You can see just a little bit further back there. But he has around Kenneth Cheney's position here. Actually, it wasn't Kenneth Cheney per se. Actually, it just was up the road. A little sharp there. And Proudfoot, they're side by side for a moment on the backstretch. Proudfoot going to stick it on in there. Going to be aggressive. They're going to rub fenders and rub sides. But going to keep it side by side. More importantly, not going to wreck each other. Sharp, obviously, may not be too thrilled. Proudfoot took that hole and took it aggressively. But the hole was left open. And Proudfoot is going to mosey his way on in with the open space. Car, you can see still side by side. We'll see if Proudfoot can get the run. Wanzing could be a bit of a pick here and help one of these 2 drivers inadvertently, depending on the lane he picks. Proudfoot, Wanzing going to go low, now going to hug the bottom. So Wanzing just going to run his own race here and could indirectly help one of these cars or hurt, depending on what he is feeling with his car right now. Back up front, though, John Hagen. We're going to cut back to the leader just for a second. Saw John Hagen looked like he was knocking on the door here. Not going to get it done, so we're going to see here. They can see position. We're going to cut back to Proudfoot and Sharp, though, and Proudfoot saw in the wide shot there, get it done. So my bad on that cut. It looked like they were going to get raced there, but Seth Wanzing is going to try to make a move on Emma Kruger here for position. But Kruger going to hold station. Wanzing going to stay in 8th. So Kruger, Wanzing, Proudfoot, Sharp, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. As Hagen got a good run out of 1. We cut to it for a second. He just lost well over a 10th. So Millett holding strong there in position, keeping his composure, leading this race. Wanzing going to try to answer back here again. They're going to get a good run here. Again, now they did end up catching Wygen. Wygen kind of lost this. Wygen 5th. Remember, he was at the tail end of pack 1. Looks like he lost a little bit of touch here. And you can see Kruger and Wanzing still battle, but Wygen, I should say, a lot of W's in that positions we're watching. Ended up losing touch in the 1st pack there. Even Featherplace did too. So they could be under fat here from pack number 2. Kruger going to use his opportunity to get around. And that's why I was talking about how line position could matter. And Kenneth Cheney looking to make a move on Sears. Not going to even make the attempt there. Now going to have a chance. So you can see right there, Cheney and Sears, they're fighting hard here, side by side. Rocket Running Machine fighting side by side with the Navy Machine. Again, this is for what we're looking at, P11 on the track. And then you can see the 41 of Patrick Oberstadt there looking to capitalize. Seth Wanzing now trying to challenge Pacey Wygen. Emma Kruger obviously got around. And now Wanzing trying to be next driver up here to make a move on the double zero machine. Look at Proudfoot as well, trying to take that run to make something happen. Again, being a two-groove racetrack, it can be a bit tricky to make that pass happen, especially with two cars taking up both lanes. So Proudfoot kind of just waiting in the wings here, looking for an opportunity to make something happen when a hole opens up. And you can see right there with Wanzing getting clear of Wygent. Now Proudfoot going to have the opportunity on the high side. Wanzing still not clear yet. Now has a choice to come down if he so chooses. Will stay high. And now it looks like the highway around is the way to be, as Proudfoot is going to hold station here and going to get clear. And Sharp as well. And I think, yeah, Wygent just kind of not putting up much fight here. Doesn't look like he got any contact with Proudfoot. Maybe the tire is burned off. Maybe this is a long game strategy. Just seeing right now if anything happened to him. Worth noting, he is falling like a stone. Yeah, no major contacts I can see in the incident box here. So something happened. Did not pick up on the replay cameras. And he's now beginning to falter. And now Proudfoot has fallen to the second pack here, leaving 4 cars in that top lane there. Kruger goes just a bit wide, going to wash up the road. And that's going to allow Proudfoot a chance to capitalize on that low side. So Gearcats cars here trying to control the lanes there. Look at Proudfoot, going to stick it at the middle here. Going to send Kruger up high, going to get in the Cheney. And that's going to also collide Lilacs here as well. So a bit of a situation. Drivers will go around. Pinnell ends up clipping the whole bit. There's Alfred's George. There's Ryan Gomes. He'll get a little bit sideways. Lilacs here got a lot of the damage there. You can see her car pretty torn up. Emma Kruger there. She's got it going. Car's obviously got some scars as well. And you can kind of see in the wide shot, it looks like Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. So 2 Gearcats cars involved in this, maybe 3. We'll take a look to see what happened here. Obviously, we'll just see if Zier, obviously, we'll see if she tries to tough it out here. Or elects to pit this time by. She looks like she'll stay when the pits open up next time by. So anyway, we'll take a look here if I can find on the replay cameras. Just give me 2 seconds here. There we go. Oh, transition worked just quite nicely. So we'll see here. Obviously, you just kind of saw in the shot there what happened. Emma Kruger was kind of in the position. They almost went 3 wide. So we'll take it from, we'll go from a nice, if I can find the right camera here. Just give me 2 seconds here. We'll go from a nice chopper camera as it kind of shows the perspective here, and we'll play it at 4 speed. So you can see Kruger kind of drifts with a bit. Proudfoot trying to fit the hole. Now, does Emma Kruger come down with Proudfoot clear? Oh, looks like she's clear, 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 clear. And then Proudfoot gets in the gas, and now Proudfoot's there. Kruger tries to come down. At that point, Proudfoot had a fender in there, so maybe a late spotter call. That sends Kruger sideways. Now we'll play it at full speed here, and you can just see Cheney gets in, and that sends right up into Zier's path. And then this third pack here tries to take evasive action. Pinnell, but Gomes gets a little bit of a hook there right on that 42 machine. I believe it was David Wright. So we'll take another look here as well. We'll cut to, we'll go back here to the time of the caution here. And we'll ride on board with a nice TV2 shot here of... yeah, we'll take it from Lilac Zier's perspective here, so just give me 2 seconds here. Just trying to find the car that would probably provide the best incident of this. So there's Lilac Zier, obviously a little bit further back, Kenneth Cheney. So you're going to see here as well, we'll play at full speed. She holds the middle groove here. Obviously, the incident's about to happen up the road here. Right there with the puff of smoke. Sends her up the race surface right into... Actually, we'll wind here just a second here, because the camera gave me a bad angle there. So we'll wind just a second here just to show you. Yeah, just running her own run there on the high side. Incident occurs. She gets on the brakes, tries to avoid it, but that ping pong by Cheney sends it right up into Lilac Zier's path. And you can see the second pack come here. Big lick there by the 12 on the outside wall. Gomes gets collided with, I believe that is the 42 with David Wright. And you see the rest of the cars pile on through and get through successfully. Zier getting a big lick as well. So we'll take one more look at that incident again here. Take one more look here as well. We'll follow it along with, check the perspective here. We'll actually take it on board with the 70, Kenneth Cheney 76 here. We'll do one more look at this as well. Actually, not Kenneth Cheney, sorry. Take one more quick look if I can find his name there. Brendan Proudfoot will actually ride on board here as a close shot with him. We'll play it one more time just to see what happens again. And you can see the bump, shoots up the road. And that is how the first caution ends up happening. So back to live action. You can see Zier obviously very torn up here. Drivers do get one fast repair, but you don't want to end up using it if you don't need to this early on. Obviously, we've already got the one to go here. So we'll take a look at how they are all shaked up here. It's going to be Hagen, Michelle, row 1. Adams, further place, row 2. Sharp and Proudfoot row 3, Wygant, Wanzing row 4, and Sears and LaJoy will be the first 5 rows here. Obviously, cars came in that time by most of the field electing to come in, whether of damage or not. Actually, the whole field came in while we were covering that action. And Danny Michelle, most cars came in for fuel only, so no drivers electing to take tires. So Virtual Cruise gave Danny Michelle the race lead. His crew gave him the best, and he takes the lead. So we'll see here how it plays. Obviously, it looks like, speaking of, Zach Millett had a bit of a poor stop there, as he is down the order currently in 30th position. So pace car going to pull on off. It's going to be on Hagen's control. Green flag is out, and away we go. Great restart on the inside line. The 81 and the 8 of Beatron and Carolina Beagle. They'll get well clear of Michelle on that high line. And now you can see the effect there in that third lane there as cars begin to kind of take evasive action. Lily Peltier Sharp looking to try to take advantage of the outside line not getting going and see if she can clear the 25 Daniel Michelle. Oh, look at that. Michelle tried to come low there. Tried to make a move to clinch the inside. Couldn't get it done. And look at Proudfoot as well. Still very hungry here. Not letting the first accident really deter him. Trying to get around here to make something happen here. Obviously, you do not want to allow a breakaway to happen here because that could spell doom and gloom if you're not careful. Look at that Wanzing. Brain was thinking Wygant. Couldn't try to get around there on Sharp on that high side. As Michelle gets clear for third, now Sharp and Wanzing fighting hard here for fourth. It's about just kind of passing here seems to be the kind of the key where you just get the run. It seems like the outside line's a little bit more prevailing. But outside of that, it just comes down to the point of just trying to get the run. And when one car gets clear of that, like for instance right there, Wanzing got clear of Sharp, Proudfoot followed through, and now Sharp ends up losing 2 spots, and Proudfoot ends up gaining 1 along with Wanzing. A little bit further back here, Jeremy Bravo and Tom Sears. This is battling right now in 12th and 11th, respectively. Just up the road, Mark Delayla, Pacey Wygant. Delayla's currently in 10th, Wygant's 9th, Joy is in 8th. Actually, see if we get a little closer here to that action right there. You can see side by side. Again, if one lane kind of prevails over the other, it could help that battle between Sears and Delayla. So you can see here, LaJoy looking about to clear that double zero. The double zero not going away here. Makes you wonder, because if he was feeling tire fall off, he really did not show it too much as he did not take tires last pit stop. Still side by side with 29. Got a little bit of breathing room, which is between Sears and Delayla. Sorry, Sears and Bravo. Actually, no, Sears and Delayla. My first prediction was correct there. And you can see them trying to maybe jostle position there too. So 2 lanes fighting for different spots on the track. We'll see how it all shakes up here between the 2. So you can see just 3 battles here for 3 different spots here. Just up the road, you got Feather Place and Sharp. Sharp will hang on to her charge. Then you got LaJoy and Wygant. They're side by side. And then just behind them, Delayla and Sears. Now Josh Gaiman is able to dispose of Breo and is now next car up here. Delayla is going to get clear of Sears. It looks like he'll have a chance here. Going to have to try to close the door. Does not do so. And now we'll officially have the chance to come down again in that Ross Chastain-inspired scheme. Now Gaiman is going to say, all right, you clear to the low side, now I'll jump to the high side, and Breo going to try to follow suit to get around Sears. Again, not missing it up front. Top lanes are still single file for the most part here. No moves are happening yet. We're keeping an eye on those timing and scorings for you. If a pass does happen, we'll cut back up towards the front. One of the closest battles we have on track. As Gaiman tries to stick a fender in here. Speaking of just up the road, Wygant was able to get clear of LaJoy. And now Wygant looking to try to get around the 34 Brandon Feather Place. And look at that. Gaiman and Delayla. Threw me off because the G and Gaiman, the E and Delayla, maybe want to say gear, but it's not. Gaiman will get clear. Delayla will fall a spot down. And Breo will get around Sears. So a couple laps ago, it was Delayla and Sears fighting. And now Delayla and Sears both going the wrong way quickly here. And now Brea looking to try to get around Delela. Obviously, Gaiman had a good finish last week, ended up getting a podium. Now looking at clear, and just up the road, you can see right there, battle for third position. Said we'll cut to it when action occurs, and you see it right here. Wanzing, former Sunday Money teammates, now technically it's Tombstone, with Daniel Michelle. Now both drivers driving for different flags, even though running similar numbers. Michelle looking to keep third now, and Wanzing looking to try to take third away from Daniel Michelle. So again, Hagan has been leading this since this last restart. Hagan has still led the way. Adams kind of laying nicely in second as cars begin to battle for position. But you can see right there, Sharp still side by side here, now trying to get around Wygent. Wygent's found kind of good form here and is trying to go back towards the front. Meanwhile, just to give you a quick update here, we're going to cut away just for a second here to show you. Remember, Zach Mill, only other driver to lead a lap so far this race. He is now currently up to 16th. He's on a mad state because he knows he needs to get stage points here. They just consistently keep getting stage points to help himself out when the playoffs occur. And right there, obviously after a slow pit stop or mistaken pit stop, probably ended up getting spun on pit lane. He's now trying to get up here, and you can see the top 10 in his sights. Gaiman just up the road there, but Sharp looks like she had a bit of a issue there. Has now fallen down just a bit in that number 18 machine. She's currently in 9th. Braille and Gaiman about to almost take it 3 wide here. 2 Gears Cats cars going side by side. Emma Kruger probably not too thrilled to hear about that. As Sharp still holding strong on the high side. Braille looking to crash the party and promote Sharp down to 10th. And Gaiman looking to bump Gear Cat teammate outside the top 10. Again, stage ends on lap 50, so next time by, we will have 20 laps to go here in stage number 1. So as drivers begin to fight, we'll see how it works here. See right now, Sharp's held on. Gaiman was able to get around Braille. Takes the opportunity to kind of cut back up to the lead just to show you again. John Hagan still leading the way. We'll go for the nice wide shot here. Hagan, Adams, Michelle, Wygent, Wanzing. Actually, Wanzing was able to lose a spot to Wygent. And now you can see Wygent, who looked kind of weak in stage 1, like the early part before the caution came out, has taken this newfound breath here. Maybe he's got a good short-run car here. He's now up to 4th, or maybe a long-run car, I should say. He's up to 4th, knocking on door Michelle, while Wanzing has fallen down to the second pack here with Featherplace, Proudfoot, Featherplace, and LaJoy here. This is 4th to 8 for watching. Now Proudfoot looking to make a move on Wanzing. We know that 22 is willing to take open holes and capitalize. We'll have the Twisted Metal clown there try to fill the hole here, obviously from the video game series Twisted Metal. Or the Peacock show, depending on who you ask. And Proudfoot going to get clear here. So Proudfoot up to 4th, and just up the road as well. We had that battle raging up between Michelle and Wygent. Wygent, we saw him kind of knocking on the door there in his Chevy machine, is looking to make something happen here and try to hang it around still side by side. We'll actually see if we can get a nice switch cameras here just for a second here. See if I got the right camera here. Nope, that's the wrong one. Wanted to Pacey Wygent. There we go. So you can see right on board here with the 00. You can see right there, still side by side here. Well, now side by side. Actually, maybe that's the best angle here to show it from. That's the better one. You'll see he gets clear. So, trying some new cameras there. Ended up giving kind of a bad angle. But Wygent going to keep 3rd. Michelle now going to fall down to 4th. So Wygent looking to try to win this stage. Featherplace there. Look at this. Featherplace, LaJoy, Wanzing, Gaiman, Braille, Sears, and Kevin Feemster all in this pack. Braille's last car in with stage points in that 74 white and red machine. Sears and Feemster looking to try to crash that party. As you can see right there, again, this is what I was talking about, lines and kind of controlling the lines here. Wanzing and Featherplace kind of have both lines here until one car gets clear. It kind of puts LaJoy and Game in a situation. So if Wanzing's able to get clear of Featherplace, it may give LaJoy just enough oomph to get around Gaiman. But same thing in reverse. If Featherplace can get clear of Wanzing, it may give just enough track position for Gaiman to get clear of LaJoy. So until they kind of settle it out, it's kind of affecting everyone else behind them. as they fight position. But you can see right there, Breo trying to push 29, clear of the 61. Actually cut one spot back to show it's that. Wanzing, though, going to get checked up just a bit out of corner. So Featherplay's going to get clear here of Wanzing. And then you can see LaJoy and Gaiman fighting. So now they kind of got that settled. It's going to be in this battle. It's probably short for the woods. As LaJoy and Gaiman, looks like LaJoy with the help of Breo is going to help get around Gaiman here. But Gaiman still keeping an eye on the low side there. Almost going to touch there. And there's Zach Millett. He's crashed the party. Remember, he was 28th on the restart here. And he's already got his number 31 machine up to 12th. And Gaiman going to get clear here, and now LaJoy. So Gaiman wins that battle there. And now LaJoy and Feemster. Feemster looking to try to get inside the top 10 here. And then Zach Millett looking to crash the party as well. Millett now going to get around Breo. And this is where pick the line, pick the poison. Millett going to get clear. Breo can't fully get the job done. Maybe going to try to push Kevin Feemster ahead here of LaJoy. Obviously, maybe not fully push, but maybe ounce him across. Look at that right there, though. Breo going to charge up almost 3 wide right there. Track's barely big enough for the two of them. Breo now going to lead the high charge. LaJoy going to cut low. So now Breo, next driver up on that high side. Again, this is for last point in on like 2 points and 1 point in the stage. With LaJoy being 9th and Breo being 10th. And look at that, Feemster under pressure from Millett. Also, Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp has rebounded here. She's now inside, trying to get inside the top 10 here, along with the 4 of Austin Mongold, Patrick Oberstadt, and Stefan Oberstadt, the Oberstadt brothers. They're a little bit further back. Millett trying to get clear. Going to be side-by-side with Feemster for 11th. With 11 to go in the stage, we actually have a battle pass for the lead here as well. We're going to cut to the front here. Going to leave that battle because we can see them side-by-side for the lead. Lilacs here has been put 1 down here. She's just trying to make it to the end of the stage here to maybe fix that up. Hagen, Adams, 1-2. Adams cannot get the pass on. He was side-by-side coming off the corner. Going to have to re-gear up and try it again here. So we're going to stay here for a second. We're going to cut back, see if a move happens. It looks like we're not at the moment. We're going to cut back to this battle here for the end of stage points. Again, 2 major battles kind of raging on here. Obviously, the lead gets side-by-side again. We'll cut back to this, but you can see right now they're getting very racy for the last couple points in on the stage here. It's almost pretty much pack racing, low performance pack racing. Millett going to try to weave it around that outside line. Feemster going to take it 3 wide. This usually doesn't smell well. Feemster going to get clear. Millett going to clear Breo. Feemster cannot stick it though. Breo going to kind of separate up this battle here. Breo will get 10th. Feemster almost clips the wall in his camera. You're going to allow Mongold, Oberstadt, and Sharp all to sneak on the low side. Oberstadt, oh, Sharp got into the Feemster. So Feemster almost ended up getting sent wrong way quickly. And it's going to cause this battle to kind of neutralize here as Feemster ends up being the big loser there. Just couldn't get it fully cleared, and he'll end up falling a little bit further back. But now battle rages on for 10th as they'll get around Lilac Zier as they rage on here. So we're going to take it out, attempting to break from that action, cut back to the lead, show you where everyone is at the moment. So Hagen is currently leading the way with Adams charging in 2nd. Pacey Wygent there in 3rd. Was able to get around Michelle and is now kind of putting Michelle in the dust here. Michelle there in 4th. Feemster, Featherplace, I should say, there in 5th. With Proudfoot in 6th. Josh Gaiman in 7th. Seth Wanzing now independent with Zach Millett, who's doing the drive of his life here to get back up inside maybe the top 10, now in the top 10. Trying to maybe get up to the top 5 before this stage ends. Speaking of Zach Millett, there he is. Jeremy Breo there in 9th. And Jeremy Breo, Austin Mongol, I should say, is in 11th with Breo in 10th. So Breo, last driver in, Mongol 11th, and Lily Pelletier-Sharp there 3 wide with LaJoy and Patrick Oberstadt. As Sharp not letting try to go away here and get clear of Oberstadt, so put Sharp up to 12th and LaJoy the 13th there. So they still rage on hard here for a battle. Patrick Oberstadt, Michael LaJoy. I know we're focusing on this, but this is probably the closest thing we have on track. Rest of the top 10 is pretty strung out here. Speaking of, actually seeing it right now, Wanzing and Millett, they're side by side. The 2-time champion taking on the 3 trifecta winner in the last 3 weeks, as Millett is going to get clear of Wanzing. And remember, Wanzing, I keep bringing up the bracket challenge, but if you keep an eye on the left side of your screen there in the color codes, Wanzing is battling Wygent right now for the bracket challenge. So right now, even though Wanzing running 9th, similar to his car number, he needs to be around Wygent by checkered flag, or else he will be eliminated from the bracket challenge. But right now, not going to allow Zach Millet to drive too far away. But back towards the lead, John Hagan still leading the way with Adams in second. They have put about a 1.6 second gap wide, so Wide beginning to drift just a bit here as these two are making it a battle between themselves for the end of the stage here, and who will take the checker flag. And it looks like Adams either clipped the wall or almost clipped the wall, and that's going to cost some more time here. Last time by, just from a respective 30.84 for Hagan, 30.92 for Jonathan Adams. Not the fastest in the top 5, though. Fastest in the top 5 is this driver right here, Brandon Featherplace, who's gotten around Daniel Michel for 4th and is now looking to try to maybe get a top 3 here, as we're going to see the stage end relatively soon here. Millet has now caught Josh Gaiman. They're side by side here. It's probably going to be end of road for Millet here, as it's going to be about another second and a half to Proudfoot. So it's unlikely he will catch for the end of the stage here, but the higher he can get up for the end of the stage, the more importantly, it will be heading into the end of the break here. Oh, Millet got a little loose there off corner exit, and it's going to allow Wanzing to sneak on by here. Now it rages on again, top 10. Breo, his last car on stage points. Austin Mongold, first driver on the outside looking in, sitting in 11th. He wants to get a stage point here. He's going to have to get around his team boss, Jeremy Breo, team boss, if he wants to get around here to make this happen. Look at that up there. I can see 3 wide, almost Millet not ready to go away here. As they fight hard here for position. Millet, Wanzing, side by side. Gaiman holding strong. You're not missing anything up front. Hagan is about to take the white flag in the stage here. He officially has. We got one more lap of stage race here. Wanzing, Breo, 9th and 10th on the respective point. Mongold maybe trying to find a way through here. This is 7th through 11th. As one driver here will not get a stage point, he'll have to go hungry in the stage number 2. Millet and Gaiman look clear. Wanzing under pressure here from Breo. Mongold going to try to make a move on Wanzing. Is it going to be Seth Wanzing at the stage point? As they come across the line, John Hagan crosses the line down the stage, and that will actually cause the end of the stage. And it looks like Wanzing will keep it by a fender. So it's going to be Hagan, Adams, Featherplace, Wygant, Michel, Proudfoot, Gaiman, Millet, Breo, Wanzing, your top 10. Austin Mongold was kind of hoping they could maybe race to the flag there, but race control calls it when the leader crosses the flag to end the stage. So the pace couldn't get caught up. So Hagan will take the stage win. There you can see him slowing down here on the apron. Wants to pit this time by, so he's going to hold the brake here and allow the rest of the field to get caught up. There's Adams as well, letting it hang on. And you can see the rest of the field getting slowed up here. And now he's almost just stopped on the track here. Going to allow the pace. Oh, Adams got hooked there. That's going to be a bit chaotic here. If we can get focused on Adams here. It's also stopped up Gaiman, so this could really mess up pit lane entry and exit here. Gaiman, nowhere to go. He's parked it. I'll have to take a quick look here. Now car's beginning to pit here, so Adams, even though he was second in the stage, said it last week, if he had no luck, he'd have none at all. And right now he's going to have to pit outside the top 10 here because of that incident that just happened. We'll actually take a quick look as pit stops occur here. So we'll focus on the pit lane entry and exit here. Then we'll take a look at what exactly happened. So we'll take a look here at pit lane entry here. We'll see who gets off first. You can see a few cars waiting on the high side there. That's Lilac Sear and I believe one other car, James Kerr, both trying to get their laps back here by the wave around. Speaking of 2 cars, the third 3 cars running. We'll see the race of pit lane. We'll hold that thought. It's going to be Hagan, Hagan, Featherplace, Wygant, Proudfoot, Michel, your top 5 as the rest of the cars begin to file off here. So there's Lilac Sear. We'll actually cut to it right now. There's Lilac Sear and James Kerr. Sear obviously trying to get the wave around Kerr as well. Seth Wanzing just had an incident as well in pit lane, and he's wrong way around too. We saw him side by side, and that's going to be more positions lost for him too. So we'll have to take a look at both these incidents here. So we'll take a quick look. And is he stuck? Ooh, it looks like he'll roll down in time, but he may be trapped. Yeah, he'll get it down here. Almost in the David Wright, right in the David Wright there. Just trying to get it fired up. Only a minor tap, so it shouldn't be major damage for either car. But yeah, very big incident indeed here. So we're going to see if I can find it. So just give me a second here. Popped up on the, actually more, yeah, that was just stacking up here. So just hold on for 1 second here. We'll see if we can find it. That's pit lane, pit lane, pit lane. Almost have it. Give me 2 seconds here. Sorry. There we go. So we'll see what happened to Jonathan Adams real fast here first. This is before they started pitting here. So I just want to see exactly what may have occurred here. So Adams slows it down. He's stopping to obviously let the pace car get by here. Does he end up hooking it, or does he end up getting kind of loose on his own accord? Remember, this is a replay before they started pitting. Adams was in second position at the time. You can see him slowing down. There goes the pace car. Oh, he just hooked it on his own. It just kicked out from under him, and he ended up getting sent sideways. And then that really affected game, and so two of the drivers had kind of horrible luck so far this season. Both will lose time on pit lane entry and pit stop time because of this incident. And then we see an incident coming out of the pit lane. You can see Seth Wanzing, and I believe that is the 41 of Patrick Oberstadt, coming out of pit lane exit here. Wanzing gets clear. Does he hook it, or does he get a tap? Oh, it just upset under the bumping of the exit. The bumps out of the exit there upset the 9, and when he tried to fire it up, it spun around. So that's how both those incidents occurred there for both the 8 and the 9 car. So we'll head back to live action. Speaking of the 9 car, he will at least get his spots back, unlike Jonathan Adams, whose mistake there puts him now down to 25th, and it puts Josh Gaiman. If I can find him here, just give me a second here to find his name on my drop-down menu here. A lot of cars here. Almost the game. Sorry, just trying to find him here. Here comes right, Kruger, paddle. I don't even see him. Like, oh, there he is. 16th. When you have a lot of names on this little name here, it's good to have full fields, but the problem is sometimes names can kind of blend in a sea of white. But we're going to get ready for the, well, white names, because on the text, they're all white text names. But anyway, Hagen, Feather Place, row number 1. Wygent, Proudfoot, row 2. Michelle Millett, going to be row number 3 here. We'll actually go for the nice wide shot there. So Wygent, Proudfoot, row 2. Michelle Millett, row 3. Braille Wanzing, row 4. Patrick Oberstadt, and Austin Mongold will be the first 5 rows. If you're keeping up with the bracket challenge right now, between the battle of Feather Place and Sharp, Feather Place obviously being car in second, he is winning that battle. Wygent is beating Wanzing in their battle right now. Michelle is beating Stefan Oberstadt. Michelle is obviously 5th. Stefan Oberstadt 726. And Ryan Pennell is beating Josh Battles, the underdog kid, with Pennell being in 14th and Battles being in 24th. We'll just cut. There's Battles and there's Stefan Oberstadt, both a little bit further back in the pack. Obviously, we've seen everyone else to the field here for the most part. We have not seen much of Battles and Oberstadt, so we'll show them off right there, currently 24th and 26th, respectively. And as we go green this time by, 31 cars on the lead lap, 32 cars still running. James Baxter, the only one down. With James Kerr, the only one down. Ross Baxter is behind the wall with, looks like technical issue who's plagued him tonight. So pace car going to pull off, and we're going to get ready to go green flag racing. Green flag is out, and away we go. Hagen, great launch there. Feather Place under pressure here from Wygent. As we finish lap number 1 in stage number 2, it's going to be what we left off at the end of stage number 1. John Hagen leading the way as he is in position number 1 with Wygent in P2 and Feather Place in P3. And we saw at the end of stage 1, we saw an incident, or not an incident, but we saw kind of packs begin to form here. We saw one group break off, another pack break off, another pack break off. Kind of like a candy bar, if you will, where packs begin to break off. And we can see just a little bit further back there, we're kind of focused on the top 10 here. You can see right there Sharp and Mongold side by side for what is respectively P10 here. Ryan Pennell looking to crash the party here, get his number 12 machine in the top 10. And right now he's battling for P11 with Austin Mongold. And he will successfully get around Austin Mongold. So put Pennell up to 11th there. But you can see right there again, we saw this in stage 1, even though we kind of broke away. If you're wondering why, if you're watching at home, why we focused really on this middle pack here just outside the top 10 is because they were side by side for most of the laps. Top pack slowly got splintered off, and eventually, like, it was a pack of 6, became a pack of 5, became a pack of 4, then became a pack of 3, then became a pack of 2, as we saw it shift up there. So it's really hard to break away, especially with these cars in this middle pack being so grooved. Speaking of, Lily Pelty Sharp, car up there, the Gear Cats 18 and the Raw Energy Machine just set the fastest lap of the race. Or that time by a 29.82. We'll see if anyone can best it, but up towards the front, Hagen challenging, but Featherplace under pressure here, trying to get our Wygen. Look at Proudfoot trying to get around here, and you can see Zach Millett. Remember, he's the only other driver here to lead a lap this race. Looking to crash the party and get back towards that lead. Look at Abreu, too. Side by side here, 3 rows deep. You got Wygen side by side there with Featherplace, Proudfoot, and Millett. And you can see Abreu and Michelle with Seth Wanzing kind of sitting in the distance there. Maybe a little bit happy but sad. He doesn't have a dance partner. Featherplace will get clear for second here. And now Wygen going to be under pressure here from Proudfoot. So line moves back one. Michelle gets the Millett. And now outside line basically all advanced with Featherplace clearing. So now everyone gets a new dancing partner. And now you can see Sharp and Pinnell. They've caught the party there. But look at Wygen. Gets a little loose there from Michelle. Going to really buck up that low line. And that is going to allow cars now final out here. You can see 3 wide coming down turn 1. Usually doesn't end well. Abreu will get clear, though, sees the opportunity, clears it. So that little mistake in 1 and 2 has now put Wygen down to 7th and now into the clutches of the 3rd pack here. Now Miller gets a little squirrely with the bumps on the high side. Again, Hagen's not really checked out. You can see right there in that Carolina blue number 81 under pressure here for the lead. Still leading the way, but Featherplace looking to capitalize. And you can see Abreu there going to try to get around Zach Millett. So, oh, Michelle gets a little checked up in the corner entry. That could stack up. It caused both drivers to get on the brake just a bit here. Still side by side, Millett and Abreu. Then it's Wygen and Pinnell next row with Gaiman and Wanzing in row 3 there. Now Sharp almost looking to make it 3 wide here. Usually not a clean recipe, but they'll keep it clean. So again, no driver really going hungry here. They're fighting hard and not allowing an inch here. You would think we're running towards the checkered flag, but we're not even at halfway into stage 2 here. Millett looking to get around Proudfoot, hanging around the high side. Not going to get the job done. Still side by side. Ryan Pinnell, remember, was outside the top 10 to start the stage. He is flying in his President's Racing 12. He wants to advance to the next round. He knows he can, and he's making it happen here. Trying to be the best of the bracket challenge drivers here if you can get a little bit further up here. Side by side with Michelle for a top 5. High noon car going to try to hang high here. Michelle, though, going to answer back on the low side. Can't get clear. Pinnell will hold on the 5th. Look at that next pack there, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. As they fight hard for position. Again, I think Hagen right now is obviously controlling the lines here. It makes me wonder, as obviously he's leading this train here, obviously just a little bit up the road. It makes me wonder, maybe he's playing, I'm not saying he's playing a bit of possum here, but again, the leader controls the field, controls the lines. We saw at the end of stage 1, cars were able to break away, make moves. You can see right there the battle for second. Cut to that there. Michelle, Millett, and Featherplace got a lot of P's and a lot of M's in that top 5. Top 10, I should say. As it's, yeah, Millett, Proudfoot, Featherplace, Pinnell. 3 P drivers, 3, 4, and 5. Millett gets second. Now Featherplace going to be under pressure here from Proudfoot. And Gaiman looking to try to make a move around Pinnell. But like I was trying to say there a second ago, the lead driver leads the train, leads the momentum. So if Hagen backs down the speed, now obviously it's the same amount of laps stage 1, stage 2, so there's no real, there could be a bit of concern of fuel here, possibly. Because we saw on stage 1, all the drivers left to come in on lap 16, and they were able to make it to the finish. 26, 36, 46, that's about 34 laps, give or take. I wonder if there's enough fuel in the tank to make it 50 laps here, so it makes me wonder if maybe Hagen's backing down just a bit here, leading this train, and maybe allowing fuel to be made, because we'll take a look at the last lap, for instance. There's the 30 points. Obviously, tire wear is getting to play off here. Now Millet going to try to make a move for the lead for the race, so I'll have to hold that thought. But it makes me wonder if he's trying to maybe save a little bit of fuel here. Now slot the second. Now get the help of the draft if he's trying to make a number hit here. So for perspective, we'll watch as his lap clears here. Last time by, Millet's best lap was a 29.88 and a 29.94, their personal best laps of the race. And as they cross the line this time by, it's a 30.07 and a 30.29. So it's a big fall off, about 2-3 tenths. Now obviously, the tires are beginning to fall off here. Well, not falling off too hard, but they're not obviously the freshest they could be. So it makes me wonder, again, not too many breakaways here. We're kind of starting to see a little breakaway shake up here. As you can see, Hagen and Proudfoot beginning to battle here for second. I was going to say, you'll see here in the wide shot here, we're going to go in a second. You can see a little bit of a breakaway there between Feather Place and Pinnell. And you can see a little pack split there as the top 5 are beginning to drift away just a bit from the second pack here. And then you can even see a third pack kind of forming up between, it looks like Mongold and Kruger, which is about 16th, 17th, respectively. But now Proudfoot and Hagen going to lose a spot. Now under pressure for losing a spot to Josh Gaiman. So, got to be careful here. So Gaiman going to keep slot back line at Hagen. And now here's another indicative question. Let's keep an eye on packs here. If Hagen wins the fall off and Millet begins to pull, it makes you wonder if maybe there's a strategy here a little bit. This Gaiman and Feather Place, they're a bit hungry here for position. Again, this is top 5 we're watching. Hagen looking to try to make a move on Proudfoot. Sorry, taking a sip of water there. Proudfoot, Hagen battling for second. Millet still leading the way now. He's, again, only 2 drivers to lead laps so far this race. Both those cars now 1 and 2. Maybe that'll be 1 and 3 respectively in a second here. And again, we'll take a second here to kind of say, as we watch this battle rages on here, obviously we're still ways away from a finish, but you got some very hungry drivers here in this top 5. Like, excluding, obviously, we'll start off with, obviously, we know Millet has won 3 straight. John Hagen obviously has got the win, locked himself the playoffs. Millet needs to keep getting points to put himself in a good spot for the playoffs or even to make the playoffs. Hagen gets clear for second there. Proudfoot won the opening race of the Clash, but has not been able to win another race here. He's got 1 stage win and only 1 playoff point. So he's really, even though he's the best driver in the points of consistency, he's still looking for more stage points and playoff points, or stage wins and playoff points. Then you got the Gaiman right there behind. Gaiman, remember, was able to get himself, he's still on the outside looking in right now in the top 16, I believe. Looking to try to crawl his way back in, just confirming he's out right now while we check this battle. You can see right there trying to get on Proudfoot in the battle for second. As I battle for the lead there, I have to hold that thought as Hagen is going to get around the 31 or try to get around the 31 of Millet. And then you can see right there Proudfoot, Gaiman, and Feather Place. Proudfoot's the only one not in a battle in this top 5. And Michelle there knocking on the door. So it looks like Millet will hang on to the charge here. So it's going to be Millet, and then you can see Proudfoot maybe trying to be next driver up here and try to make something happen here. But we hit lap 75, so next time by we'll have 25 to go in the stage here, as these laps are beginning to fly away. Yeah, just to finish my point there, you see the battle raging for the lead. Gaiman is outside of the top 20 along with Feather Place in the playoff standings. Well, Feather Place is not in the playoffs either, so both drivers need to get a win or get good runs if they want to make the playoffs. So, like I said, out of this top 6, a lot of these drivers have either had bad luck or haven't got a win yet. And the only 2 that have gotten wins are the currently cars that are 1 and 2 right now, as Gaiman will lead that lap and get around Millet. Feather Place will give a pump to Gaiman there. Luckily did not upset his car all that much, as Gaiman will keep 3rd, Feather Place the 4th, Proudfoot 5th, Michelle 6th, and then you can see just behind the road, Jonathan Adams. Remember, he's got a fast 8 car here, had that double shift issue that spun him around, now trying to do what Millet did and recover quite nicely here to get himself back in the top of the field. Side by side here. And look at Michelle right there, going to make a move, and is going to get clear of Proudfoot. Michelle up to 5th, Proudfoot down out of 6th. Sharp is going to keep the position on Adams. So top 5 got a little bit lining up here, but look at that. Josh Gaiman to 61. Not the one of the biggest movers of the race, but has a positive net 5 from where he started. Up to one of the biggest movers right now is Austin Mongold up 13. But looking to try to get in the top 2 here. Remember, got a podium last week. It's been a long time since he's gotten his last win. He's feeling hungry, and he's had bad luck to start the season. He's kind of either been finishing podium. He's had a Ryan Newman 2002 season where he's technically not even winning, but he's either finishing on the podium or he's crashing out of races. So he needs some good luck here, and right now going to try to ping the fight to Zach Millett. I don't know if drivers can say they've done that this season, and he's looking to do so here as they've now kind of allowed Hagan to kind of check out a little bit with 21 to go in the stage. Gaiman looking to clear Millett. Gaiman almost clear, still side by side. Gaiman and Millett battling for 2nd. Feather place there in 4th. Michelle down to 5th. They've left Proudfoot in kind of the dust here. He is now in that 2nd pack along with Adams, Sharp, Wygant, and Wanzing. And looks like something's had Proudfoot here. He is way off the apron. We're actually in the pit stop window here. So we've hit pit stops. Gaiman's also came in as well. So pit stops have occurred here. I wondered if they could make it to the end or not. Looks like the answer to my question is no. So you can see a couple drivers coming on in. Pit lane is a crowded place with Gaiman, Proudfoot, and Wanzing all in, going for the undercut here. Obviously, they're not taking 4 tires here. We'll just watch real fast to see. Keep an eye on the box here. We're following Wanzing right now. Yep, 7-second stop for him. But it looks like 4 tires and fuel for Gaiman. Proudfoot away with 8. So Gaiman did not get the memo. And now it's Sharp. That's Sharp, Breo, and Mongold down the pit lane. But right now it's still Hagan leading the way. So Gaiman probably going to get fresh tires here to end the stage. We'll see if 20 laps is enough to make something happen here. But he's going to be a little bit further back here, as a lot of the other cars are electing to take fuel only here on their stops. Austin Mongold took fuel only. Jeremy Breo took fuel only. Lily Pelletier Sharp took fuel only. Next car in, Kevin Feemster. He is on the pit lane right now. So kind of what I was hanging on here and what I was kind of hypothesizing was that these drivers in question were not making the fuel number here. But yeah, Hagan was kind of trying to save a little bit of fuel here to go a little bit longer. Hagan's still out of the way here. Leading the way, I should say. Millett there in 2nd. No signs of him pitting. No one in this top 10 has really blinked yet. Should be worth noting, Stefan Oberstad here right now. We'll cut to him right now, currently sitting in 11th. He came in and topped, actually, yeah, he came in, I want to make sure he's the right one. Yeah, he came in and topped off 2 extra laps. So he can go 2 laps longer than supposedly the rest of this field here can. Along with a few other drivers, including Ryan Gomes. We'll cut to him real fast there in the 55. He came in at 53, and Richie Catania. It's not much fuel economy, but it could give him an extra 1 lap or 2 lap. It could play a difference, especially if a caution were to get called here. It's still Hagan, Millett, feather place there, trying to challenge Millett, and Michelle and Adams, your top 5. 2nd through 5th, all kind of in a bit of a sandwich here, as Hagan is now 1.1 clear, as next time by we'll have 15 to go in the stage. By the way, the update from the home right now, Emma Kruger's decided to pull up behind the wall here, since she's had a bit of pain in her wrist, and she has not been able to continue, so hope whatever the issue is, it can be healed up nicely. We can see her on the track next week. But hopefully she gets a good speed recovery here. And obviously we don't want any driver to be in pain while they're driving. So hopefully she can get nice and recovered and we can see her next week. But right now she is pulled behind the wall. So that will join the list of retirements with her and Ross Baxter behind the wall. Still no sign of see the battle for 2nd raging on. Still no sign of pit stops here. No one really blinking here. Feather place. Looking to try to make a move here for 2nd over Millett. Oh, we have another driver in, Davey Hawk. We'll cut to him for a second to show he's coming in. Now we'll cut back up to the battle here. Feather place, going to get clear of Millett there. That may have been a Kevin Dunn-esque cut there. For the wrestling fans to get that, I do apologize. Kind of a bit of a quick cut there, but just want to show another driver who's coming on in. Feather place, Millett, no real blinks from this top 5. Speaking of, actually we do. Jonathan Adams, he is in. He is falling down the order here. He will pit here with 13 to go. Back up to the top 4 now. It's still no signs. It's Hagan, Feather Place, Millet, Michelle, Wygant, Patrick Oberstadt, Dustin Painter, Dale I'm cutting like it's showing angles. There's Josh Gaiman, who's 1 down. Markowski, Sears, and Stefan Oberstadt, your top 10. First car that is now 1 down that came in is actually, it's not even 1 down. It's Jonathan Adams here. Josh Gaiman, who's currently leading the train here. His fresh tires have paid off. So if the field does pit, he could be on poise to get a stage. Back towards the front here, Millet and Michelle fighting here. Millet will hold position. Michelle can't capitalize, but it looks like Millet's really backed down. For perspective, last time by, John Hagan, 30.86. Feather Place, a 31.1. Millet, a 31.25. Michelle, a 31.1. So Hagan's still keeping his times in the 30s right now. Now a 30.97, so I wonder if Hagan, like I was kind of saying, at lap 50 and 60, he led the race. He backed down the speed he needed to hit the number, and then when he got his magical number, he kicked it in the high gear and has made it work. We'll see if they can hit this magical number. Obviously, there's John Hagan again here. It looks like we have an answer here. Brandon Featherplace, he is in. He cannot make it in his Toyota Camry here. The Liquid Death Machine is in the pit lane, along with Stefan Oberstadt, one of the Bracket Challenge drivers. That will put John Hagan leading the way again. Millet 2.6 back, side by side with Michelle. If one driver can make it, it makes you wonder what the state could be for the drivers that just came in. Gaiman, remember, currently 1 down, has got the lucky dog. Well, we'll have to answer that question to Millet. Millet's coming on in. Coming in kind of hot here. We'll see if he slows it down. I'm wondering if he made it in time. He's coming in quite hot, but no puff of smoke. Patrick Oberstadt will also join as well. So John Hagan, your race leader by over 3 seconds. Hagan, Michelle, Wygant, Painter, Markowski, Sears, George, DeLayla, Catania, Lawrence, your top 10. First driver to come on in under the last pit stops was Josh Gaiman, who came in on lap 8. Is currently 18th. Well, Hagan is now pitting. So Hagan will join along with Michelle. They pushed it as long as they can make it. It will hand the lead over to Pacey Wygant, who takes lap 93 of 100 in the stage. Wygant, Markowski, Sears, DeLayla, your top 4, with Catania staying out along with Kenneth Cheney. So Hagan, Michelle, Painter, George, Lawrence, Battles all in. Now the question is, can Wygant maybe make this number? Looks like he is coming on in, so he will not make it. So now the question is, can the overcut, undercut work? He is in, and it's going to hand the lead off to Markowski, who's also pitting. You can see a couple cars getting a lap back. Sears will stay out, and we know Tom Sears is the man that can make the fuel last. He's done it at Darlington. He's done it at tons of other tracks. If there's anyone that can get that magical number, it's going to be Tom Sears. He even tried it at the 500 this year, and he couldn't make it work, but he's someone that's willing to try to do it. Ryan Pennell also staying out along with Lilac Sear. For reference, Josh Gaiman is jumped John Hagan. There's Hagan, there's Gaiman. If every car pits, Gaiman will take the lead of this race with Hagan in second. Because remember, Gaiman took 4 tires. Everyone else took fuel only. I was questioning the strategy, but he ended up making it work right now. Sears in the pit lane along with Mark DeLayla. Ryan Pennell will see if he pits. He will stay out another lap along with Lilac Sear, who's got her car nice and repaired. And Josh Gaiman is now sitting comfortably in 5th. Remember, now no longer a lap down. The gap is now 8.8 to Pennell, as he will cross the line here. 6 laps. Right now at the speed they're going, just for comparison, Josh Gaiman ran a 30.26. Ryan Pennell ran a 31.40. Lilac Sear a 30.22. At the rate he is going, Josh Gaiman should catch Ryan Pennell if Ryan Pennell stays out. This time by, Pennell pumps out another lap. Lilac Sear also staying out, just kind of cutting through the show. Can Gaiman in his Toyota here catch up to Sear and Pennell if they elect to stay out? First car, one for spectators, is Mark DeLayla. He's leaving the pit box here. He is going to be the first car, 1 down, so if a caution were to come out, he would get his lap back. DeLayla and Kerr are the only 2 cars lap down at the moment at the cycle through here. Speaking of James Kerr, there he is in the 75. There's also Josh Battles trying to hang on here. Lilac Seer has pitted along with Ryan Pennell. Both are in. Will hand the lead over to Josh Gaiman with 4 to go in the stage. Hagen, obviously on older tires here. That's Danny Michelle. That's John Hagen with older tires in the stage right now, or older tires he has. The likelihood of him catching is not high. So Gaiman's strategies worked out. I was questioning why he was taking 4 tires. Well, it's worked out a treat as he's looking poised to win the stage. But obviously the only problem is he'll win this stage. But if we get a green white checkered or if we get a late rate caution, he could be in a bit of concern by losing 1 extra set here. So it's a victory that's going to get him stage 2, as long as he doesn't have a mistake here. But the concern is he could end up maybe biting off more than he can chew. There's Ryan Pennell. He will now go 1 down along with David Wright. So now Ryan Pennell and David Wright, they're fighting hard here. Luckily, the positive is Wright and Pennell can take the wave. Well, Pennell definitely can take the wave round here if necessary. But obviously, they'll be a little bit off sequence if they do so. Ryan Pennell obviously elected to take fuel only along with David Wright. So fresh tires playing factor here as we hit 2 to go. And now the question is, will Catania get caught here before the end of the stage? There's Catania right there. Last car on the lead lap. Josh Gaiman filling up the meters. David Wright hoping that 24 does not get caught before the end of the stage. Same thing with Zier. We'll check for the field here. There's the 81 trying to cut through traffic here. Daniel Michelle in 3rd. Pacey Wygen in 4th. Jonathan Adams and Brandon Featherplace. They're fighting hard here for a top 5 in the stage. Breo there in 8th. Sharp in 9th, Wanzing in 10th, Adams and Featherplace fighting hard here. Featherplace electing to take 4 tires as well. Sorry, Zach Millett took 4 tires, so he's going to have the fresh tires here to try to cut through the field. Final lap in the stage. Gaiman going to cruise to victory. The question is, can Millett make something happen here? Almost runs in the back of Featherplace. Millett sitting in 6th. Still side by side. But as Gaiman's going to come off 3 and 4 here, he will take the stage. We'll show it right there. He will take and cross the line in stage 1, and Millett will get just ahead of Featherplace there. So Millett will end up getting, looks like he was supposed to get 5th. Looks like Featherplace will clear out here, so we'll see if that cycles itself quickly. But Josh Gaiman will get the stage win here. His 4-tire strategy worked out to a treat, and he will take stage number 2 here with John Hagen there in 2nd. With Hagen in 2nd, Michelle in 3rd. There goes the pace car. Pacey Wygen in 4th. Brandon Featherplace will actually get 5th over Millett. So Featherplace will get 5th, Millett will get 6th, Adams will get 7th, Breo gets 8th, Sharp gets 9th, and Seth Wanzing will round out the top 10 here. So those cars will come down pit lane here. Presumably some will, some won't. We'll see some strategy here. Obviously some cars will take the wave round here if they went down. Rich Catania will get the lucky dogs. He was the last car to go 1 down. Clean stage number 2. Things you love to see, as pit lane is now going to become a very, very crowded place here. As you'll see, there goes Gaiman. A few cars taking the wave round here. James Kerr, Josh Battles, but the rest of the field electing to come on in here and take service. Now the question is, obviously, what do you do here? Obviously, another pit stop looms on the cards. Drivers came in around varying strategy. We saw some as early as 80, some as 90. So we can obviously see there, if this stint goes green to flag, yeah, gotta go as long as you can here, because you need to make sure you can make it a 1-stop race here. Because when we go green, we're going to be at lap 103, 104. There's Gaiman. He'll win the race off pit lane. Oh, that's the wrong pit lane camera. There we go here. You can see then the rest of the field coming in. Millett will also take it out here. And the rest of the cars that did not take 4 tires, all taking 4 tires here, as the rest of the cars begin to file suit here. So this is how the cookie kind of crumbles here. Gaiman and Millett will take 1, 2. They both took 4 tires under their pit stop under green, and thus will take fuel only this time by. But that will give Hagen, Proudfoot, Michelle, and Wygen a slight tire advantage here, as they'll be 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Adams, Breo, George, Sharp will be your top 10. Alfred George elected to take fuel only on his pit stop here. Will promote himself to a top 10 spot at the moment. We'll see if that holds. Yeah, it looks like he has not come back in, so he will keep 9th position. So again, looking at the window of pit stops, you can't make it 50 laps on one stint. You can probably make it, if we had to run estimation math here, 30, 35 to 45 laps. If we go green to the finish here, we'll go green probably on 105. That would give us about 94, 95 laps here. So it's going to be interesting. We saw drivers like Pinnell make it 45 and 45. That will get you to 90. But no driver can maybe hit that magical number. So it makes me wonder, will a driver, if we go green in this stage, because right now, obviously, a few drivers come the top off, but it makes me wonder if you're in this situation right now, if you're a driver right now that's a little bit further back, we'll just kind of focus on a few drivers here. Seth Wanzing currently sitting in 11th. Patrick Oberstadt, 13th. Stefan Oberstadt in 15th. Dale Markowski got a podium at Talladega at 14th. Mongold in 16th. Tom Sears, we know he makes great fuel economy in 17th. To you, because it seems like the two-stop, if we go green, is the way, of course. If we obviously get a caution somewhere before this happens, it will shake things up quite nicely. But it looks like a two-stop could be on the cards. But if you're a driver like Sears, do you try, maybe, to make a one-stop occur here? We'll have to see on that, and that's where these drivers are getting, well, maybe not getting paid the big bucks, but they're getting paid in the fun of it to decide whether or not that's a strategy call worth trying. So as the cars you see here in the wide shot here get in the wave around Delela, Pinnell, Battles, and Kerr, it's going to put Gaiman to the lead, and he will have obviously no choose, but he'll take the inside line here with Millet rounding out his outside. Hagan, Proudfoot, row 2. Michelle, Wygent, row 3. Breo, Adams, row 4. Sharp, George, your first 5. By the way, quick update as well in the bracket challenge. Danny Michelle obviously leading his battle over Pacey Stefan Oberstadt. Michelle in 5th. Oberstadt in 16th. Wygent is beating Wanzing. Wygent is in 6th. Wanzing's in 12th. Sharp is beating Feather Place. Sharp is in 9th. Feather Place obviously coming in later in that strategy in 24th. And Brian Pinnell is beating Josh Battles, but that's the closest one we have on track. There'll be 28th. There you see 28th and the wave round 29th respectively as they take the wave round. While we have this quick second as we're about to go green here, take a quick second for the station ID here, or if this was a radio station, the station ID. But if you like what you're seeing, this is ABN2. This is the Bracket Breaker 300 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the ARCS Midwest Barbecue A-Square Cup Series here on ABN2. I am Kevin Young, bringing the action most every week here on ABN2. If you like the action, you can comment along, say who you're rooting for. You can also subscribe, and you can also follow the YouTube channel. All the links down in the description. But thank you for joining us here on your Sunday evening, and hopefully this last stage brings you the action. So end the station ID, and let's get ready here for the end of stage number 2. At the start of the final stage, I'd say. Already stage 2 ended. The start of the final stage. Pacer going to pull on off. It's going to be on Gaiman's control. Green flag is out, and away we go. So it's lap 1 completed in the final stage. Gaiman will lead the way with Millet in second, and then you can see Hagan trying to hang it on the low side here with Proudfoot there to capitalize. And you're going to see the tire advantage kind of play off here as they're almost 3 wide for the lead here. Have to hold that thought as they'll fly high to the corner. Gaiman, Proudfoot, Hagan all side by side. Millet will get promoted to the front here. Gaiman already down the 4th here. Could be 5th. So backs out of it, does not wind up going the wrong way around here. Hagan and Proudfoot now fight hard for second, and Millet will lead this lap. So last lap led by Gaiman, this lap led by Millet. We'll see if another driver leads this time by, let's see if anyone can capitalize. Obviously, Proudfoot has not led a lap so far in this race. Looking to try to capitalize nicely here. But like I was trying to say earlier, tire advantage could play a bit of a factor here. Because you got Gaiman and Millet. Millet on slightly fresher tires than Gaiman is, but still at about a deficit of about 15-ish laps in comparison to the cars around. And we saw even a 15-lap stint Yeah, it was obviously a bigger gap there because obviously he came in 4 and Gaiman did not. So you see Gaiman now 3 wide there in the wide shot there with Michelle and Breo trying to clear. So Gaiman's smart call in stage 2. He couldn't take fresh tires here, and now he's feeling the effects of it. As he's just going to try to hang on here and make something happen here. But right now, obviously winning stage 2 could have put him in a bit of a deficit here, as now he is down to 7th and about the 8th. As now Hagen, if we cut away for that second, Proudfoot was able to get clear of Millet, and now Hagen looking to crash the party. As it's Proudfoot, Hagen, Wygent, 1, 2, 3. Michelle, Millet there, fighting hard for a top 5. Rage on here. It's Proudfoot, Hagen, Wygent, Michelle. Then you can see right there, Millet. Again, feeling maybe the tiredness effect here. Under pressure here from Breo. Gaiman is now in 10th and is beginning to fall here as well. He could fall inside the top 10 here as Feemster is battling him hard here for position. There you can see actually it's Sharp now. We'll cut back to that just for a second to show you. Right there, yep. Sharp will get around 9th. Now Gaiman at 10th. He could be under pressure from Alfred George, but Alfred George on the same strategy here. Just shows tire disadvantage can play a factor if you're not careful in situations. As you can see right there, the effect of getting to play hard here. Breo actually looks like he went off track here just a tiny bit. Yeah, he did. Breo way off the pit lane here. Had to take evasive action here, going through bumpy lands. It looks like he may have got an incident here on the track. So we're going to take a quick look here on the replay to see what happened. You see right here, we're going to play at full speed. This is a replay to see what happened before. Oh, he hit the wall and got a tap by Wanzing. Sent him down over the grass. Luckily, doesn't hit anything else. Going to cut through the pit lane here. So just a bad bump there off the wall. Just pushed a little too wide, and Wanzing sent him off. We'll see if that 74, back to live action, we'll see if that 74 is all right enough to continue, or if maybe that hit caused some damage. Actually, may have also could have got a penalty for unsafe entry of a pit lane. So in the pit lane, he'll come. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Josh Gaiman also in the box as well, as he could not hang on. We'll actually see if we can see what happened to Gaiman too real fast, because I think he could have had a similar incident here. Yeah, it could be a similar repeat, another replay here. And we have a caution here too. So here's Gaiman. He gets loose off the corner here too in a pile of 3. So actually, we'll cut back to live here. We'll cut back to this replay in a second here, and we'll see what happened there on the time of the caution here. It looks like it's Mike LaJoy. He's got an incident too here, and there's Mike LaJoy with some heavy damage. Dale Markowski also involved as well. He is torn up quite quickly here. So 3 incidents happening back to back to back. That will bail out Breo though, and also help out Josh Gaiman. But you can see right there, big tear-ups for all cars involved. So we'll take a look here and see. We'll got to go through the incident list here. So we already saw what happened to Breo, but we'll finish up what happened to Gaiman here, which caused his incident. Then we'll take a look at the actual caution here. So we're going to take it from the chopper camera here, and we'll see what happened here. You can see 3 wide. We'll actually wind just a bit here. Oberstadt, Patrick Oberstadt, Tom Sears, and Josh Gaiman here. We'll play at full speed. Gaiman obviously on the older tires here. Middle. Oh, Sears hit the wall there. Actually, we'll just rewind here just to show it. Yeah, he'll slow it down at 4th speed here. You can see what happened. We'll see Sears hits the wall similar to Breo. Gaiman has to be in there, sent forward. Does not get hooked on Cheney, though, and it sends him sideways. And you can see him spinning through the grass, over the turf, I should say. Now it's actually not even grass. And luckily, we'll get it fired back up. But, yeah, he'll come down the pit lane here, and that's what happened to Gaiman. So now we'll take a look here as well what happened to Mike LaJoy. This is the cause of the caution. So we'll go, usually when in doubt, we'll go chopper camera here. It's usually indicative of what happens just up the road from where the incident happened with Josh Gaiman. There you can see Tom Sears and Patrick Oberstadt. So play at 4th speed here. Michael Joy here coming down. Oh, he came down right on the nose of Stefan Oberstadt there. It got him turned. And then we'll cut the TV1 here. You can see then shoots him up the racing surface here. And then you can see Austin Mongol, Dale Markowski not going to be so lucky. And bam, right in the front end of Dale Markowski. Tears off the front end. Now we'll play it at full speed. Shoots him out the racing surface. There's Cheeseburger Lawrence. He has nowhere to go. And then you see David Wright luckily gets on the brake, but Mark DeLayla maybe not so lucky there. You can see he ends up piling the front end too as well, with nowhere to go for him. So we'll take another look here as well, if I can find a good incident of this incident. Give me 2 seconds. We'll actually file from Dale Markowski's perspective here. And then we'll take one more look here. If we can get a good shot, we'll play it right here. You can see the incident happens up the road. Markowski's trying to mind his own business. And then LaJoy goes up the road. Nowhere to go for the 33 machine. Same thing with the 47. And then the 80 of Mark DeLayla just piles on in as well and gives a big old lick too. We'll take one more look here as well. We're actually right on board with the 80 machine here, Mark DeLayla. So if I can get on the right camera here, give me 2 seconds. There we go. We'll do an onboard shot of Mark DeLayla here. And let's see what he saw from this incident. You can see right up the road, there's the spin. He's trying to get on the brakes. Looks like he's got a clear C here, trying to hit it, clips the wall, and then, yeah, nowhere to go for the 80 machine. And there goes the front clip for the A-squared rookie here in 2024. So back to live action. There you can see Dale Markowski there. Obviously, he's still pretty kind of banged up a little bit, but he has come on in and fixed up his car. More importantly here, this is now where it's going to get kind of interesting. If you're a car that stayed out, Proudfoot, Hagen, Pacey, Wygent, I don't know why I'm cutting through the angles here. We'll go for a wide shot here. Proudfoot, Hagen, Wygent, Wansing, Oberstadt, and Zier all electing to stay out. Zach Millett obviously comes on in this time by. He could not take those old tires any longer. He comes on in, and he'll be joined by the rest of the field. But more importantly, Zach Millett actually didn't even take 4 tires. He stayed out for fuel only, because maybe doesn't have the extra set to do it this early. So Millett going to probably suffer a bit more here, but this is where it's going to get kind of interesting. Because you got interesting strategies here, because you got the cars that just came in. Millett on down, they all came in, and Michelle on down all topped off that time, one lap later. And we'll see if anyone else tops off here. If we assume you can make it 40 laps in a stint, 26, 36, 46, you can see it coming in about 56 would be a safe bet. And then 66, 76, 86, 96, and assume we go green this time at 118, you could, in theory, make it on one stop if you came in. It's going to be still quite a little bit of saving to get. You can't run flat out, because if you run flat out, you're probably going to hit maybe 35. But you could hit that number with a little bit of saving to make it a one-stop. Well, you got the drivers like Proudfoot, Hagen, Wygent, and Wansing betting on another caution here. Thinking another caution will occur, and when it does, they'll be able to capitalize on it and come in at the same time and keep their track position. So the top 6 all thinking we will have another caution. Meanwhile, the cars that came in the next time by maybe trying to make, if it goes green, a one-stop strategy work and be the fastest of the drivers on that strategy. But it's going to be Proudfoot, Hagen, row 1, Wygent, Wansing, row 2, Oberstadt, Zier, row 3, Millett, Adams, row 4, Sharp, George, your first 5 rows here. Great drive by Alfred George right now, sitting in the top 10. But obviously with those older tires along with Millett, we'll see if they can hang on quite nicely. So as we're going to get green this time by, we'll see how it all plays out here. Who will be the driver that gets the better range here? It's going to be on Proudfoot's control. Actually, Hagen's control, I should say. Oh, no, Proudfoot's. Green is out, and away we go. Great launch by Proudfoot. Hagen will slot it nicely in P2. So we see the battle raging on here for the lead. Sorry, I was taking another sip of water there. Calling a race by yourself can leave you quite parched. But Hagen, Proudfoot side by side here for the lead. We'll see what driver can take it. Wygent there, the capitalizing, and the bracket challenge heats up as Wygent and Wansing. Remember, 3 and 4 in the bracket challenge right now. 3rd and 4th the track, both battling for their spot to advance here. Wygent trying to push Hagen clear here, maybe to try to give himself a chance here to take 2nd. Wide shot shows the track. The sun is already kind of setting here. We're going to be in the nighttime when this race finishes. Hagen going to get clear. Wygant going to be side by side with Proudfoot. Wildfoot going to get a good run here. It's going to be still trying to clear here. Proudfoot, Wygant side by side. Oh, they door each other there in the back. Trying to get the run here successfully. And you know they're flying fast. As purple lap there by Hagen. As they are trying to keep up with that fast 81 there. Wygant will get the spot now. Wanzing looking to try to clear Proudfoot here. As we're 80 laps to go to the finish. Wanzing now in third, Zier in fourth, and now Proudfoot going to fall down to fifth. And as we watch this battle, it's safe to assume these cars will have to come in about 13 laps earlier than some of the other runners. Your highest one of that runner is Lily Peltier Sharp. So it makes you wonder here, obviously they saved a few laps under caution, but at what point maybe they can make it maybe to 160. Obviously that's big, tall ass, 160. But they get past 150, they could have a chance to bring it home in one stop. But you see the battle here raging on. I'll shut up about fuel mileage for a second here, as more importantly, Lilac Sears sets the fastest lap of the race last time by. We'll see if anyone bests this lap this time by. As Zier trying to hang around the high side here. Wanzing gets second, and the battle in the bracket challenge is hard here between Wanzing and Wygant. Again, whoever finishes highest between the two of them advances. The other one goes home. Well, in the bracket, they still will race next week, for clarification. But anyway, neither driver giving an inch here. They also smell a victory because remember, both drivers have not yet won this season. Wanzing is currently, I believe, outside the top 16. Wygant is in, but not comfortably. Wygant is currently 34 points ahead of the cut line. Seth Wanzing is 1 point to the negative at the cut line. So a good race here for Wanzing could promote him inside the top 16. If he wins this race, if he can find a way around, either driver can find a way around John Hagen, they will be knocking on the door here for success in playoff racing in about 12 weeks' time. Lilac Zier there, you can see in a distant, not even distant fourth, she's knocking on the door there in fourth. Remember, she's second in the points without a win. Yeah, she's the second highest, gets a win here. She doesn't have to worry about the next couple weeks. This top 10 is quite shaken up here, and the only two drivers in this little pack we're watching from 1st to 7th is the front end of it and the back end of it, with Hagen and Sharp both having wins, with Hagen winning 2 and Sharp's coming win at Phoenix. There you can see Wanzing, though, going to try to rip it around the high side here. Can't get the job done. Wanzing, Wygant, side by side. Wanzing, look clear. Going to be clear at the moment, but not going to come down low. Going to allow Wygant a chance to run back here. It's about entering corners and exiting them quite nicely here. Wygant, Wanzing, Wygant. And Zier there in the distance, ready to capitalize if a hole opens up. So as they rage on here for battling quite nicely here, still side by side. You can see also Proudfoot there in the distance, Patrick Oberstadt, and Lilac Zier. All could use this endurance race here as a chance to capitalize. So as they rage on here, both drivers trying to rage a chance here to make something happen. Still side by side. Wygant looking to get the run here off corner exit. Can't get the job done. Still going to be side by side. Hagen loves seeing this because they're burning up their stuff behind him. So as they rage on here again, still side by side, trying to make something happen. One driver looking to maybe make a blink here. Who will get the advantage? And whatever Lane does, Zier will be ready to capitalize to get that spot around here. But if Zier leaps up a little bit too much like there, gets a bad entry in a 3 and 4, that's opened the door for Patrick Oberstadt to have a chance to get a run here. And we actually have a caution here. Looks like it's Kenneth Cheney. And you can see, oh, big tear up there. Lauren's going to cut through the grass. Looks like a few other cars as well. Tom Sears may have had a piece of this as well. Maybe just taking evasive action. There's David Wright. He's kind of slow. Don't see any major tear-up damage on that car. DeLayla, he looks all right. Look, Kenneth Cheney, though, the major damage here. I'm not seeing another car here. I'll just see if Markowski, anyone else has some damages up the road here. Lawrence looks okay. Check Tom Sears real fast. Yeah, everyone else looks all right. So I guess, it may have been Daniel Michelle who's just jumped the pits here. So we'll take a look here, see what happened. Instead of speculating, we'll just take a look what happened. Yeah, Michelle, Gomes, and Cheney, 3 wide here. So we'll take a look to see what exactly happens. We'll play it, go from a nice chopper camera here. And we'll play it at half speed here and see exactly what happened. 3 wide here. They're fighting for about just outside the top 10 here. I believe they're maybe top 18th, 17th. Michelle gets stuck in the wall there. Still stuck. We'll see if that plays a factor here. Oh, Cheney drifts up. I don't know if Cheney drifts up a little bit here. I'm going to rewind here just a second. Oh, we're playing at full speed. We're actually going to pause here a second. I just want to watch it one more time here. Play it at 4th speed. I was focused on Michelle there, but let's see. Cheney holding a line here. Gomes, Cheney. He comes up just a bit. Looks like Cheney comes up just a bit more, but obviously Ryan comes in a little bit too. They both get stuck together. Michelle, nowhere to go on that high side. He's an innocent passenger in this situation. And then you can see at that point, nice avoidance by Davey Hawk, but the Bucky's machine, a Painter, nowhere to go. We'll play it at full speed here. Then you can see Game and he'll take evasive action. His cars begin to tear around here. And just trying to make avoid the incident here and make something happen. We'll take another look back at this replay again, this time from Daniel Michelle's angle here. We'll play it from a wide shot here just to see what he saw. You can see he gets in the wall there. I think that's the worst of what's going to happen. They get stuck in and bam, nowhere to go for Michelle. Painter obviously piles in. Sears and Lawrence both have to cut through the grass, but obviously Gomes gets the best of it out of the 4 that were involved in that incident. He gets minimal damage, but Cheney and Michelle both tear off, and obviously we'll just kind of rewind here just a bit to show you forward that Cheney obviously, not Cheney, sorry. Yeah, Michelle just can't drive that thing anymore. You can see the front. Gonna rewind here, sorry. Just got to get used to these controls here, but you can see right there that thing is struggling to turn. You can see he gets on the brakes here. That thing is struggling to turn, so he does the best thing he can do and tows it back to the pit lane. He's going to at least lose the lap because of that incident. We'll take one more look here as well from Dustin Painter's perspective, and we'll ride on board a nice little hood camera of Dustin Painter, if I can get to the camera there, and we'll ride on board with the Bucky 65 machine who won duel number 1. You can see right there, and then nowhere to go for the 65. Right into T-bones the 55 of Ryan Gomes. But other than that, though, the car seems relatively okay, so if it wasn't a major hit, he could be relatively all right. But we'll see how that affects the 65. So back to live action. There you can see Daniel Michelle there in pit lane. Obviously, it's been a long time since he's last won, even though he has been very strong. And it's not going to be another win here tonight, just trying to get that bad luck bug off his back. But this is where it's gotten a bit interesting. Ryan Pinnell, he elected to stay out. So we're going to have some quick recap here to cover. Ryan Pinnell, he stayed out. Jeremy Breo, just up the road there, he is currently trying to get the wave around. So Breo is going to get waved around here, going to get back on the lead lap. That's going to give us 28 cars on the lead lap, with Daniel Michelle being, I believe, the first. Actually, I don't even think Kenneth Cheney's still racing. I'll just confirm he's on this field. Not. I don't think he is. Yeah, he is not. So we're now in scenic camera here. So give me 2 seconds here. There we go. So, yeah. Jerry Breo going to get back in the lead lap here, and he's going to give us 27 cars still running at the moment. Looks like James Kurt is still running, but multiple laps down. Michelle on pit lane. We'll see if he gets back out on the surface after his towing. And so, yeah, we'll have 29 cars still running. Kenneth Cheney, Michael Joy, Emma Kruger, and Ross Baxter all behind the wall. Their days are done. When Breo gets his way around, we'll have 27 cars on the lead lap. Now we'll focus on the drivers right now and their strategies. Ryan Pinnell stayed out. He last came in at 114, but he did come in for 4 tires on that strategy, so he'll have at least some fresh tires. Then you got Brandon Featherplace. He came in at 130, but he elected to take fuel only. John Hagan, Pacey Wygent, the first 2 off pit lane on the 130. Next 2 that took 4 tires. Wanzing and Zier both took 4 tires. Their gamble paid off. Patrick Oberstadt, Brandon Featherplace the next 2. Josh Gaiman up the 9th. He came in for fuel only that time. So he came in obviously for 4 tires when he last pitted, when he obviously took his base action through the pit lane. And then Zach Milt came in for 4 tires as well. So this is interesting. So the drivers that came in under the previous caution, they kind of maybe got bit by a bad strategy there. They came in, most of them took fuel only, some took fuel only like Featherplace did. Ryan Pinnell stayed out, but Hagan and Wygent, the ones that stayed out, were banking on the caution. They got their wish, and they will have a chance here. But one green flag pit stop still looms on the field. The field won't comfortably make it to the finish till about 45 laps to go here. So we'll have to be around 155, 156 for this race, for these drivers to make it good on fuel. So no driver can still make it. They'll have to come in one more time. The question is, when will that be if we even get another one? And if we get a late caution and they try to stay out, that raises even more questions because of fuel economy and other things. But we'll deal with all those questions if and when they come up. More importantly, though, it's going to be Ryan Pinnell with the control on this restart as he will take the green flag this time by here coming to lap 134. So pace car pulls off, green flag is out, and away we go. So as the cars begin to fight for position here, battle for position, make things happen here. Just make sure the audio's good. You can see Sears right there. He gets in a big incident there on the wide shot along with Catania, I believe that was. And Sears has a second incident along with Catania. Both coming up the race surface. Nowhere for DeLayla to go. Nowhere for Jeremy Breo to go. And that will be incident number 2. Just checking the audio levels there. And that sometimes can happen on restarts. You take a look, you check the incident, and then next thing you know, cars end up being involved in an incident here. So there's Catania there. He's also pretty torn up here. So we'll have to take a look at what happened. Mark DeLeo also got a heavy lick there. You can see he is stopped. I don't think that car is going to be going to win any pageants. Yeah, that front end clip is torn off, and that thing does not look good. Looks like he may even have a virtual flat tire, as he is now going to come on in and take some service here. Not even going to try to tough it around here for an extra lap or two. So we're going to take a look, see what exactly happened here. Obviously, we kind of saw it in the wide shot, but we'll get a nice close-up shot of what happened. There, obviously, is a little bit of the incident occurring here. We'll actually end up rewinding just a bit. Hit the wrong button. I don't know why it told me to do that. There we go. So we'll take a look here. It's obviously going to be just up the road, so we'll take it from the chopper camera. The good old trusty chopper camera here. We'll play it at 4th speed. Actually, we'll wind just a bit here because it looks like Catania. Actually, we're going to pause here. We're going to rewind, and then we're going to pause. And then we're going to play it at 4th speed. And we're actually playing at the 3rd shot here. You can see here, cars race up. You can see Catania drifts up the road just a little bit. Looks like he gets a little loose. And now we'll go chopper camera here. And you can see right there, 21 of Feems, 24 battle. Sears trying to get the run, nowhere to go. They end up touching here. Both shot down the surface. They door slam each other as they come down the road here. Sears obviously nowhere to go. Now we'll play at full speed. Sears comes back up the racing surface here, trying to merge up. Catania's still there. They both go through the grass, and then obviously they shoot up the road. DeLayla nowhere to go. Breo has to get on the brake to avoid hitting anything. And then you can see that's Sears. So Sears ends up getting maybe minor damage, but not so much for some of the other cars involved in that incident. We'll take another look here as well from Catania's perspective. We'll actually rewind just a bit here as well. You can see the front end clip pop off. So we'll play here. We'll go from a nice close angle here just to see Catania's perspective, and we'll actually play it at full speed. So we'll play at full speed here. The Altex machine here just gets loose off the corner. They almost touch their Feemster, and then they both get kind of stuck together. At this point, Sears just tries to come up, or maybe, yeah, tries to come up a little bit, nowhere to go, and both take action. Then you can see up the road. Catania right into Mark DeLayla. Sharp with a great avoidance there, does not pile in, and ends up not taking any damage there. We'll take one more look here as well. We'll take a perspective here. We'll actually ride on board with the car there of Mark DeLayla. At the time of the incident, we'll see, actually, I think, were we in the right spot here? Just let me rewind here for a second. We're a little bit further up the road here. So we'll pause right here. We'll actually ride on board here with Mark DeLayla as we'll get a nice little hood camera of what he saw out of his perspective. See the incident happens just up the road right there. Again, minding his own business, maybe trying to think about what will happen here. And at that point, he's just trying to get through. He gets by Sears, but best wrong, nowhere to go. And in the accident, he files in, and obviously that torches the car of Mark DeLayla. As you can see right here, that thing is heavily, heavily wounded. So back to live action. Looks like that may have been race ending for Mark DeLayla. Yep, that was officially race ending for Mark DeLayla. He is now behind the wall, and it will also be in the car graveyard along with Kenneth Cheney and Mark LaJoy. Kenneth Cheney, Mike LaJoy, Emma Kruger, and Ross Baxter. all in the car graveyard here. Well, some of them didn't retire because of car damage, Emma Kruger and Ross Baxter for other reasons, but they'll all be behind the wall, I should say. That will give us 27 cars still running, 25 cars on the lead lap. Jerry Brao obviously got a little piece of that incident there. He is still piling in, still going. Minor damage for him. Danny Michelle is now 1 down, so if he can get... Right now, again, he's in the bracket challenge right now with Stefan Oberstadt. If we get another caution here, still long laps left. If we can get another caution here, he could get back on the lead lap and try to challenge to keep his bracket challenge going. So it's still not curtains yet for that 25. But now he's only 1 down thanks to a quick caution here. And James Kerr, the only other car still running that's multiple laps down. Believe he's well over 10. He's actually 9 laps down. So the likelihood of him getting back on the lap is slim in this race. But if more cars decide to retire, he could gain spots by that method. So we'll take a quick look at the starting grid here, the starting lineup here. This is not the starting lineup, but the coming back the green, the restart lineup here. Hagen, Pinnell, row 1. Wygant, Featherplace, row 2. Zier, Wanzing, row 3. Proudfoot, Oberstadt, next row. And Gaiman and Millet will be your top 10. Again, a pit stop still looms for the rest of the field here. No drivers are likely to come on in that time by. Only a few did. Tom Sears, Destin Painter, Jeremy Brown. Obviously, the cars that were involved in the incident came on in the top off on fuel or fix up their cars. So, no driver in this top echelon of field electing to come back in. It's going to be on Hagen's control. And we'll see how this all plays. Pace car coming on in. It's going to be on Hagen's control. Green flag is out, and away we go. Great restart on the inside line. Ryan Pinnell, not as good of a restart, and that's going to affect that outside line quite tremendously. Sear going to get clear around Ryan Pinnell for third, so Ryan Pinnell going wrong way quickly here. It's going to have to find some form here quickly. Cars beginning to fight for position here, just a little bit further back there. You see Seth Wanzing and Brandon Featherplace and Proudfoot all fighting here hard. That time by Hagen clear, Wygant in second, Zier in third still. But top two beginning to pull away from this second pack here, at least a little bit, of Zier, Pinnell, and Wanzing. But Zier not going to allow that to go quickly. As soon as I say that, Zier proves me wrong, and she is on the back of right now Pacey Wygant. Zier has a rocket ship. Remember, she was a second-round pick. She was kind of picked in succession. Interestingly, no, in succession here, Wygant, Zier, and Hagen were picked back to back to back, or maybe the order was slightly wrong there. But they're all picked in that same row of drivers for the three respective teams: Carolina Beagle, B-Tron. And it was just Zier first, Hagen second, Wygant third. Or sorry, it was Zier, Wygant, Hagen. Anyway, that doesn't matter right now. Ryan Pinnell trying to make a move on Zier. I'll remember on math later. Brandon Featherplace sets the fastest sector 2 of that last lap. We'll see if he can keep that speed going here, as we are seeing a big checkup here. And again, we saw this in stage 2, where Hagen maybe didn't ran as fast as he could, backed down his times, and he kind of tried to save the number that way. Obviously, again, he's not going to make that magical number. He's not going to get 70 laps in that one tank. He'll have to pit again, but the farther and deeper he can get over the required distance, the less fuel he'll have to take, and the fresh tires he could have. So there's an element of strategy here if you're that 81 car. Tire economy obviously does matter here, so you're not going to see any drivers take 2 tires on that pit stop here, but it makes you wonder if you're some of these drivers here in this pack, once that window's open up, maybe to try to go for the undercut, but by how much? Some drivers may even attempt to come in as soon as the window opens, but I highly doubt that, as Zier almost clips the apron there. Wanzing going to sneak around. Wygant up to second. Wanzing knowing his competitors there. Ryan Pinnell gets a little loose there. He'll cut through the grass, almost takes some flight there, and he'll keep it pointing in the right direction. So luckily, unlike we saw with Brao and Gaiman, where they took their evasions through the grass, went sliding through sideways, Ryan Pinnell takes the bump. He survives, and he will keep his position. Well, he won't keep his position, but he at least will keep in this lead pack here. But definitely a bit of a scary moment for that number 12 car, who's still leading his bracket challenge over Josh Battles, who's currently in 15th position. Back up to the top 3, top 5 here. Seth Wansing, Brandon Proudfoot. You got a Brandon and a Brandon right there in a sandwich, and they're all in white cars. So it's kind of going to be a bit of a tongue twister if you're not careful. But Lilacs here looking to make a move for second. Same thing with Seth Wansing trying to keep fourth away from Proudfoot. Proudfoot not as successful in his opportunity to pass. Zier going to try to get around the high side, try to clear the 0-0 that way. Zier not going to get clear. Wansing going to try to get the little slipstream and try to make something happen. Weigel will keep second. Wansing now going to try to battle Zier back for third. And again, Hagen's really backing down the times just a little bit. For perspective, Hagen's best lap was a 29.67. That time by a 30.05. He's really trying to save some fuel here. Even though he can't make the end, but just like we saw at stage 2, just trying to make something happen here. But obviously, with it being a bit of a hard track to pass at and him able to still keep good pace even in his slightly less aggressive pushing strategy, he's making it work. It will eventually take someone kind of upsetting him here a bit to make something happen. But I don't even think he'd be complaining about that. Because if a car takes the lead, he can use the slipstream off him to pull himself towards the front. A little bit further back, you see Millet making a move on Feather Place. Gaiman, Millet fighting hard here. Gaiman trying to get clear here. See battle raging on here. Again, just taking another sip of water here. So I know this is going to be very chaotic to the finish here. Austin Mongol looking to make a move here. Can't get it done. Battle there just up the road. There you can see Proudfoot and Zier fighting hard. Proudfoot, Zier side by side. It's Hagen, Wygant, Wansing, 1, 2, 3. Proudfoot in fourth, trying to clear Zier. We'll see if either driver can. Again, as we're about to hit, well, we're almost within 50 to go here. 2 laps time will be at 51 to go this time by. When we cross the line coming this time, that'll be 51 to go. The lap after that will be at 50 to go. And we're coming in within the window here to make it a one more pit stop. As I look at the numbers and I look at the economy, it makes me wonder right now if you're one of these drivers here, at who blinks first and when is the question. Because we saw under the previous stage 2, we saw green flag pit stops. Gaiman, Wansing, they were drivers that blinked first and elected to make moves to come on in. More importantly, if we get a quick caution here, does anyone maybe try to stay out? Think we get another one and take the fresh tires? There's a lot of strategies here that could play out, and we're in an ever-changing flow position. But Gaiman and Zier, they're fighting hard here. Millet there in the distance. He's trying to get 4 wins in a row. Currently sitting in 7th, trying to carve up way for the field here. Right now behind Gaiman and Zier inside that top 6. Hagen still leads the way with Wygant in second. Wansing in third. Proudfoot your top 4. Then you can see Gaiman, Zier, and Millet. And actually, we'll use the opportunity to quick cut through the field here. Gaiman, Zier, and Gaiman, Millet, Zier, your next 3. Feather Place, Oberstadt, your next 2 positions, 8th and 9th. And Kevin Feebster rounds out the top 10 there. You see him right there. But under pressure here from Patrick Oberstadt, Austin Mongol, Jonathan Adams. As that is your top 14 with Lil Peltier Sharp rounding up the last car in the top 15. But we're still focused on this battle here. Looks like they've kind of gotten it settled out for the moment. But Zach Millet looking to make a move around Josh Gaiman as Wygant is slowly knocking on the door on John Hagen's times. You can see right there in the wide shot, Wygant slowly clears an eye on Hagen. We're keeping an eye on that battle right now at the moment. If it gets side by side, we'll cut back. But right now, actually, we'll cut back to it now because we've seen a little bit of a lull here between Gaiman and Millet as Millet and Zier both got around Gaiman. Hagen, Wygant, lead gap, 2 tenths separates the 2 of them. We'll actually cut back the battle right there. There's Patrick Oberstadt, Adams, and Feemster, but I was more focused on Feather Place and Stefan Oberstadt and Gaiman. Gaiman going wrong way quickly as he has really been in the struggle here. as those tires are now beginning to really fall off here. As remember, he came in at 130, but he didn't take tires that time either. And he's having, again, a slight tire disadvantage. He obviously, I think, came in between the two and took some tires, but obviously still down on tires for the cars running around him. And it's beginning to show now for that 61 machine, who's the Stage 2 winner, is beginning to drift further and further back. You can see him getting pretty raced here. His Gaiman now under pressure here from Adams, just inside the top 10. We are now within the range, I'd say, that if you came in now, you could make it with some serious saving. Obviously, likelihood of no one coming in yet now is still probably nil to none unless you get damage. But I feel like right now, if you're looking at drivers that would be the first drivers to come on in, you're looking at that 61 machine, maybe Zach Millett too. Both of them will be the drivers that, maybe not Millett's case, but Game will definitely be a driver that blinks first when his window finally opens. But up towards the front we'll go. Wygant closing the gaps now down to a 10th. They've left Wanzing in the second pack in the dust. Hagen's got 2 wins on the year. Wygant does not have a win yet, but he does have a Truck Series championship in the HTL Truck Series, and is a very strong driver looking to try to get a good win, try to get himself off to a right season start tomorrow in the HTL Cup Series for the duels, which you can tune in on ABN1 to watch. Selfish plug, I know, but might as well plug as both drivers will be attempting that race tomorrow. Both have charters, so they'll see where they can start tomorrow night. But right now, 1-2. But right now, they got the focus on Charlotte here first. Both pulling away from the pack. Wanzing there, you can see in third, holding up a train with Proudfoot, Millett, and Zier, 3 through 6. And then it's Featherplace, Oberstadt, Adams, Gaiman. Now Gaiman loses a spot to Oberstadt. And now Sharp has climbed her way back inside the top 10. And we actually have a caution here. That is going to pull a big-time strategy move here. And there you can see the tail end. Gaiman involved. Ryan Gomes, Ryan Pinnell, Patrick Oberstadt, Jonathan Adams. And I wonder what exactly happened here. I'm not going to say speculation. There's Patrick Oberstadt. He had to jump pit lane quickly. Josh Battles involved. Brea looks like he picked up his clip he just lost. He was also involved. Again, very torn up machines. Alpha George looks okay. Ryan Gomes, though, he's pretty torn up there. His front end is. There's Josh Gaiman. He is torn up here as well. Dustin Painter, he looks okay. Davey Hawk, he looks all right. But that is going to be interesting to see what happened here. It looked like it happened through the tri-oval. And whatever happened caused mass chaos here. So we're going to see if we can pull it up here on the replay. Just give me 2 seconds here to see Josh Battles coming in here. And it looks like it happened right about here. I think it's just a little bit up the road here, so we're going to cut up here. I think it's just up the road here. Yep, there we go. That's explaining what happened. All right, so we're going to cut back here just a bit. It's going to happen between Patrick Oberstadt and Josh Gaiman, just battling for the top 10 here. We're going to go for a nice chopper camera and play it at 4 speed. Gaiman, oh, he hits the wall. It shoots him low right in the Patrick Oberstadt's pathway. And then we'll play it in the wide camera there. They get stuck together. Play it at full speed. They shoot up, hit the wall hard, come back down the road. You can see Sears getting around, but nowhere for Lawrence to go or Painter. Battles piles in hard, and both bracket drivers hit each other there. George along piles in for a ride as well. And yeah, you can just see the effect. Patrick Oberstadt ends up getting junked there because of the incident. We'll take a look a little bit further back here as well. You can already see the effect up the road there. We'll wind just a bit. And we'll see it from, if I can find him on my battle box list here, just give me a second here. The 61 of Gaiman. Again, when you got a lot of cars through the field, sometimes they can just kind of blend in. There he is. We'll play it from a nice closer perspective here and let it just see it again from his perspective. Again, just hits the wall, shoots him low. They both come with the racers. They get stuck together. They shoot together. At this point, they come down the road, and then you can see right there, nowhere for Lawrence to go. Hooks Gaiman. There's Gomes, and you can see Braille piles in on the back there as well. Just unlucky for some of those cars there as they ended up taking big licks there in perspective. I want to see if I can find one more angle here. See if we can get a good ride on board here. Just trying to see if I can find it. Yeah, Josh Battles. We'll focus on Josh Battles. He had a big lick here too. So we'll go back just a little bit again. I'll focus on Josh Battles here. He's a little bit further back in the action. Again, in the back of challenge right now as well, battling Ryan Pinnell. We'll ride on board here with, actually, I thought he was a Chevy. My mistake. Patrick Oberstadt. Actually, we'll ride on board with Battles. Sorry, give me a second. I'm looking through cameras here. Battles, yeah, we'll do Battles, and we'll do it from a cockpit camera here. And we'll ride on board here with Battles as he sees what he saw for this incident. See, just up the road, they get stuck together. Trying to go low. Maybe should have went a little lower, thinking it's going to be okay. And, yeah, spinning 41. Couldn't avoid it. And big lick, and then just gets piled in by Ryan Pinnell there, who also had nowhere to go in his Ford. And then you can see, yeah, he actually had a toe. Actually, didn't even toe, he just lagged. Ended up connecting out there. So back to live action. You can see now the Ford is looking nice and pretty for the 71. He still had a fast repair in his tank. But now it makes you wonder. All drivers had one fast repair. A lot of drivers may have already burned their fast repairs. So we just see drivers obviously came in that time by, but again, should be good to go to the end here. James Kerr looking to get another lap back. He'll take his wave around here. But now, this is interesting. Millet came in. Everyone came in at 159 there. In theory, 40 laps is a hittable number for the rest of the field here. However, this is where it gets kind of interesting. Millet, Proudfoot, Sharp all took fuel only or 2 tires. I think Proudfoot may have took 2 tires. The other 2 took fuel only to get the track position. First driver to take 4 tires brigade is John Hagan, sitting in 4th. He, along with Wygant, Wanzing, and Zier, all took a set of 4 tires here, presumably ready to go to the finish line. Josh Gaiman still had a fast pair in the tank. He came in, fixed his car up. He took, I believe, 2 tires, possibly on a strategy call here. He'll sit in 8th, with Feather Place taking 4. He's in 9th, and Hawk in 10th there, taking fuel only. And it looks like Gaiman coming back in here again. Looks like he does not feel confident he can hit that number, so Mon to come in one more time to ensure he can make it to the finish line here, or maybe has a penalty. We'll check his time here in a second here. So this is where it gets interesting. This is the money stops. This is the strategy. This is where elements of strategy can play on. If we go to the green, if you took a set of 4 tires here, you may not have another set left. And it looks like he's actually taking another set of tires here too. Looking like he's taking 2. So actually he's taking 4 here. So interesting call for the 61 driver as he's away. So he feels like he may not have the fuel economy to make it. But we'll check the field here right now. Millet, Proudfoot, row 1. Sharp, Hagan, row 2. Wygant, Wanzing, row 3. Featherplace, Zier, row 4. Oberstadt, Hawk, your first 5 rows. Update on the bracket challenge. Obviously, keep an eye on the color palette on your screen. The different numbers represent the battles, the drivers they're fighting. Sharp and Featherplace, they're battling. They're separated by a row. Same thing with Wanzing and Wygant. They're in the same row. So those 2 right now fighting hard here. We were speculating they would be the toughest battles here. And then you got Stefan Oberstadt in 9th. His main rival, Danny Michelle, is now in 22nd. And Pinnell and Battles fighting hard. But the problem is Pinnell is on the lead lap. Battles is not, but Battles is the first one down. So we'll see how this all plays. If another caution comes out, that battle could also rage on. But we are going to go green this time by. It's going to be on Zach Millet's control, looking to get 4 wins in a row here. I think he's going to join elite company if he can, but we still have well over 40 less laps left to play this out. Green flag is out, and away we go. Millet clears there for first. Hagan, Proudfoot side by side. Wygant looking to clear Sharp. Will successfully not do it. Task failed successfully, unsuccessfully, as they are now side by side. And look at Wanzing, they're fighting hard. So they fight here for position. You can see right there, Wanzing going to clear down on Featherplace. Featherplace, Sharp, side by side. That's the bracket challenge fight right there. And remember, Wanzing, Wygant, Hagan, Wanzing, Featherplace, all on 4 tires along with Zier, fresh 4 tires. So they're trying to make those fresh 4 tires work along with John Hagan. They'll have the advantage later on the run here. Again, fuel economy, we assume they should be good with a little bit of saving. Shouldn't come back here. Thank you to ABN Esports 1 for rating here to see the finish of the Charlotte 300, which is the equivalent of the Coke 600 in real life. As we're looking up, shaping up to a great finish here. Proudfoot, Millet fighting for the lead. Proudfoot will take the lead. Will try to lead his first laps of the night as he'll come off of 4. Again, quick race recap for those just tuning in. If they did not hear it, I don't know when the raid happened, but I'll just quickly update again as we're coming up, well, within 35 laps to go. Here's Millet and Hagan fighting hard. They've been the 2 strong cars here all tonight between the 2 of them. Wygant looking to crash the party. These drivers should be good on fuel if they save a little, but if they go hard here, there could be concerns, as we saw Gaiman come in a second time under caution laps. So the economy, we saw the drivers like Ryan Pennell stretch it out to 45 laps, but a majority of the field came in well before 45. They came in at 40 to 35. We took the green on lap 161, 162. So do these drivers sitting up front going this hard have the economy to make it? If not, will a driver that's maybe a little bit further back saving it make it? If we get another caution as well. Some drivers have not burned their last set, others have. We'll see how this all plays out, but we can tell you one thing. Proudfoot sets the fastest lap of the race. He is no way thinking he has to save here, and it makes me think he has the economy to make it. Set the last best lap last time by there, ran a 29.80. Not the fastest out of the three, though. That would be John Hagan, actually it would be Pacey Wygen, who set a personal best there for third. And you can see right now Seth Wansing looking to make a move. Remember, Millett took fuel only under the last pit stop window, while a lot of the other runners took 4. And you can see the effect that's playing on right now as he's beginning to falter that 31 machine. Looks like the quest for 4 could be a little bit hindered right now. But again, Zach Millett's driver you don't want to count down when the chips are down here. Millett battling Feather Place here. Feather Place looking to clear as well. Right now, well clear of Little Peltier Sharp. His battle in the bracket challenge, clear by well over 12+ spots. Go a little bit further back here. We'll cut a little bit further down the pack here. We'll see. You can see the second pack getting kind of get a little bit feisty here. David Wright, we haven't said much about him tonight. He's gotten his 42 machine in the top 10. And look at Alfred George. He's played the strategy to perfection. He is currently sitting in 13th. Obviously still a little bit of ways away from the top 10, but he's making it work for him. And he's looking to try to hang on against Andy Michelle here. Michelle was one down about 30 laps ago. He's back on the lead lap. He's trying to get back in the top 10 and maybe catch Stefan Oberstadt, his main rival in the bracket challenge, and see if he can reel him back in and make this advancement for him to fight. Cars rage on here. We're going to see the battle kind of rage up here. We'll go to Michelle here. We're keeping an eye on those lead times as well as Hagen's, again, keeping the Proudfoot honest. Gap is holding honestly. Wright going to cover off Michelle here, though. Feemster looking to try to hang around the high side. Wright covers it off. Covering both lanes. Michelle looking to get inside the top 10, and it looks like he successfully, well, I won't say successfully he's done it yet, but it looks poised he will. Now he successfully will. So put Michelle in the 10th and put Kevin Feemster outside the top 10 as he's now battling Jonathan Adams, who was second in stage 1. Is looking also to get inside that top 10. Now Michelle going to try to clear here. And next car up is Stefan Oberstadt. He is flying, Danny Michelle. He's taking this new lease on life, and he's making it work as he is carving up for the field here. Next, now he can see the 3 in his sights here, and he's looking poised to try to catch him. You can know there's Jonathan Adams and Kevin Feemster. Still side by side, both of them are Mongol there to catch the party. Again, you're not missing. Actually, we're going to cut back to the lead here. John Hagan has caught the back of the 22 here, and Pacey Watkins ready to join the show here. Was waiting until it's got spicy, and it looks like it has as we're coming next time by the 26th to go. As this has gotten spicy up towards the front. Wygant still looking for his first win this season. Proudfoot looking for the first win. They touch. Hagan, Proudfoot, they touch just a little bit there. A little bit of rubbing, a little bit of banging, but they'll keep it still side by side. Hagan trying to get clear of Proudfoot. The finish by point, Hagan will lead that time by. Hagan's got 2 wins on the year. Proudfoot won a race, but not a points-paying race. Still looking for his first points-paying race finish win. And Wygant looking for his first win, period, in this series. Proudfoot, though, going to get clear almost. Hagan looking to keep second, and then you can see Wygant trying to dictate the lanes, try to find a way around one of these lanes here, and this is the problem of being the chase car at this track, is if you're not careful, you can end up falling a bad spot here and getting stuck behind someone. And Hagan will lead that time as well. Proudfoot not going away, but that inside line looking to prevail here. Wygant looking to clear here. Wygant trying to get side by side with Proudfoot here, trying to hope Hagan gets clear so he can get clear, but can't hang the low side long enough. Proudfoot will keep second. Wide in third, Zier, Wanzing in the distance there, fourth and fifth. They keep racing. It could bring them a bit closer as now we're within 25 to go. More importantly, Michelle looking maybe for another caution. I'm keeping an eye on his lap times. He is flying 29.87 last time by in comparison to the cars running up ahead in the 29.9 bracket and 30.15s. He is flying right now. If he can get one more caution, we're just going to cut away for a second to show you. There you can see him right now getting around Brandon Featherplace for 6th. If we get another caution, Michelle could maybe sneak one out, but it's still a Herculean task to make up 2.5 seconds here at a track like this in 24 laps, now coming to 23. But right now, Hagan, the two-time winner in the Carolina, decked out in the UNC Tar Heels machine here in North Carolina, looking to make something happen here. Wygant, Proudfoot, side by side for second. Third place beginning to fall off just a little bit here as they rage on the battle. Wygant still not going away here. Gonna touch Proudfoot. Got in his quarter panel just a bit, but Proudfoot hangs on. Wygant looking to get ahead here in the second position here. Still side by side. Don't think Proudfoot's going to be too thrilled. Keeping it clean, though, and they will pull second, but that's going to allow Hagan some breathing room here. Wygant still not going away here. Only worry you got to worry about is him burning up his stuff. If he burns it up a bit too much, he could be in trouble. Still side by side, two abreast here for second. Wygant still not going away. They got to worry, though, because A, Lilac Zier reeling in the car ahead here. You see right there, reeling in along with Seth Wanzing. If they battle too much, it could also allow John Hagan to pull away here and clear the gap. Few cars there pulling down the side. That's James Kerr and Ryan Gomes, both just trying to get to the finish here. Torn up and laps down multiple for both. Wygant will finally have to concede a little bit, but still not going away, as they're still side by side again. As neither driver's getting an inch as we are within 20 to go. Oh, we're shaping up for a great finish here. We'll take this opportunity to quickly cut through the field here and show you where everyone is. John Hagan with 19 to go is leading the way with Proudfoot in second, Pacey Wygant in third, Lilac Zier now in fourth, Seth Wanzing in fifth. This is the front five pack. They are battling for the win in this pack. Daniel Michel there in sixth. We'll actually get a little closer cut here to show you he's in sixth right now. He is trying to reel in this top five pack. He is flying like it's no one's business. Oberstadt in 7th, battling Brandon Featherplace, 7th, 8th, respectively. Featherplace in 8th, and we're going to have to leave that battle because he's right there side by side again. But to finish the recap real fast, it's Jonathan Adams in 9th and Austin Mongold in 10th position. And actually, we'll take a quick second. Actually, all the thought they're almost touching. As you can see right there, basically saved by the gods of iRacing, as Wygant looking to finally get around this 22. He's been battling it for lap after lap after lap, and he still can't get around. Proudfoot is a tough nut to crack, and Proudfoot not allowing to go here again, driving as deep as he can to try to make something happen here. Wygant gets, I think, was second on the track by a fender there, but Proudfoot still holding strong. I think Wygant may have a chance to clear here. And again, they're fighting hard here, but the problem is they're not battling for the win. That's right, there's John Hagan up the road just a little bit. Not too problematic right now watching this in his mirrors, seeing these two cars fight for position. Wanzing was able to get around with Zier while we were kind of watching that. You can see in the foreground shot. Remember, Wanzing and Wygant fighting hard here in the bracket challenge. If Wanzing can clear Wygant, one of these two will advance to the next round and will face, I believe, I'll confirm it, the winners of Pinnell and Battles. So they're fighting hard here to fight in the semifinals against the winner of Battles and Pinnell, who you can see on the scoring timeline right there is still favoring Pinnell as Battles is one down. Can't keep it clear, and this is the next problem. Wanzing here, he smells blood in the water. He needs to push one of these cars clear. He's not, I don't think, teammates to either. He actually may be teammates with the 22, but he's kind of in a tough spot here. He's got to find where the car's quick, and you can see 3 attempts clear John Hagan is. The Carolina kid, I believe he's from Carolina. I'll probably get a correction in the mail on that one if he's not. Looking to win in front of the home virtual crowd. Wanzing trying to pick a lane here, trying to find one he can push clear the other one here. Just hoping to find someone he can get pushed here, because again, the problem is when two cars are stuck together like this, you need to find a way to break them up again. Wanzing trying whatever he can do. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go around, and he's going to take second position away. Wanzing, Proudfoot were fighting so hard, folks, on their own battle that Wanzing snuck through, and now he is in second position. Wanzing snuck through there. And Zier also gained a spot too, so the two are so focused that it allowed a capitalization. Now Wanzing, now a half a second down to Hagen. Can he reel in Hagen? 14 to go, coming to 13 to go. Hagen, Wanzing, Wygant, Zier, Proudfoot. Looking at the lap that time by, obviously maybe a bit ineffective here, but Wanzing was the fastest on track in this top 5 battle. Proudfoot maybe not feeling the ill effects of the tires. Remember, when he came in at 159, he only took 2 tires. So he's starting to feel the effects of maybe the 4 tires these drivers took. Assuming maybe there'd be another caution. Coming to 12 laps to go. B-Tron looking for another win this season. Wanzing trying to get a win for Tombstone. Wygant looking to get a win for Carolina Beagle Racing. Zier trying to get a win for Presidential Racing. Because so far this season, it's been B-Tron and Gear Cats and Bandit with wins, with seconds Tombstone, thirds Carolina Beagle, and fourth Presidential Racing, all without wins, chasing the car up the road there, the B-Tron 81, John Hagen. And remember, coming, we'll talk about this real fast too, just to go over the points one more time. John Hagen, 2 wins this season, second in the Rookie of the Year standings. The Lilac Series currently in 4th, looking for her first win in any 8-square competition. Actually, maybe not any, because I think she's won the lower ones, but looking for the first one in the 8-square Cup Series. Seth Wanzing, a 2-time champion, came oh so close last season to making it 3. If he can get a win here, he's currently on the outside looking in, 17th in points. He needs a win here to get himself, or at least a good finish to get himself back in the top 16. And look at Hagen, drifts up the road just a little bit here. It's going to open the door for Seth Wanzing, have a chance here, but can't get the run off the corner. And like I've said before, there is the concern of fuel. These drivers, I believe, are good. They wouldn't be running this flat out if there wasn't. But remember, they saw some of the drivers come in as early as lap 35. And they went the green about 35. We saw the longest stretch was about 45 laps. But that was a heavy saving. So it seems like 4 could be the middle here. A little bit further back, you can see in the bracket challenge, the fight hard here between Stefan over at Daniel Michel. They're another battle here fighting hard. The driver that wins this, finishes highest between the two of them, will take on the winner of Brandon Featherplace and Alyssa Pelletier Sharp, which right now is Brandon Featherplace just up the road. Still side by side, these two are fighting hard here. And they're in a little bit of pack lap down car as well. There's Austin Mongold in 10th, looking to try to get a win here, or not get a win, get a good finish here to keep himself moving in the right direction. Just up the right, you can see Proudfoot, Featherplace, and Adams. Adams, good recovery drive to that mistake at the end of stage 1, currently sitting in 5th position. As Wanzing still has not found a way around Hagen. We're keeping an eye on this lower battle here to see if it shakes up something nice. Oh, Featherplace clips the apron just a little bit. Made the car go a little wobbly, but Featherplace will keep 6th, put Proudfoot down the 7th, and Michelle now in 8th as the battle rages on here. Michelle looking to put a buffer car between him and Stefan Oberstadt here. And you can also see in the back, Tom Sears, I think that's Sears battling Markowski for 11th and 12th respectively. But we'll cut away. Actually, we'll see this battle here between Michelle and Oberstadt. Oberstadt looking to try everything he can do to keep this run going in the bracket challenge. He did it last season in the playoffs. He kept finding ways to make the next round, looking to do the same thing here. He knows who he's battling. Right up the road. We'll see what he can do. 6 laps to go. Not anything up front. Half a second separates between Hagen and Wanzing. We'll actually show that right now. Hagen there, you can see in the lead there. We'll go for the wide shot to show you. There's Wanzing. There's Wygant. There's Zier. Did those drivers burn up their stuff just a bit too much? and allow Hagen to skate off into the night. They'll catch one lap down car there of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, who has no real allegiance to anyone in this top 4. Probably will just get out of the way, but if he puts him in the right spot, it could play a bit of a factor here and could play the line. As will come the 4 to go here. We're going to cut back Michelle and Oberstadt and Proudfoot. Again, scrapping for their lives here. Between Michelle and Oberstadt, only one of these two will advance to the next round of the bracket challenge. Oberstadt looking to try to get a fender on the corner pin as we've hit 4 laps to go. Oberstadt is there right now. Michelle, Oberstadt, side by side, going into 1. So as we see them still side by side, Mongold also ready to capitalize if something happens here. Three laps to go. Looking up front there, Wygant and Zier. They're side by side for the last step of the podium. Wansing has fallen off quite aggressively here. Gab's now 7 tenths respective. Last time by, Hagen at a 37.9, Wansing a 30.93. Without a caution, it looks like it may be Hagen's race to lose. Here comes Hagen, ready to come with 2 laps to go. Back to the battle for 7th here. Looks like it's settled down for a second here. There's Proudfoot, there's Hagen, and that is Michelle, and there's Oberstadt and Mongold all scrapping. And again, Mongold going to try to go high side. Oberstadt going to try to find a way around. Can't get it done. He's going to fall buffer car, and it looks like Mongold's going to get clear of Oberstadt. But back to the race lead. John Hagen is going to see the white flag here. 1 lap to go, brought to you by Smeal Racing Designs. If the graphic could load, there it is. Smeal Racing Designs brings you the final lap, and it's a gap of a second between the two here. And up to the back line here, Michelle, Oberstadt both get clear. Proudfoot as they're going to race hard to the finish line here, but it looks like it may be a little too late for Oberstadt. But back towards the front as John Hagen passes his team boss here. He will come across the line, and he will take his 3rd victory here tonight. John Hagen will win here at the Bracket Breaker 300, with Seth Wansing coming home in 2nd, and Lilac here rounding out the last step of the podium here. And as the rest of the drivers file on in here out to the top 10, Seth Wansing looking to try to give a little tap there to Hagen. And you can see right there the B-Tron teammates all very happy with each other right now. A little tap of respect. And even Wansing coming up giving a little tap of respect there to Hagen. As Hagen has brought home his 3rd race win of the year. And he will now tie, funnily enough, Zach Millett here. There's Jonathan Adams of the B-Tron racing car here coming in for a little love tap as well. But John Hagen, win his 3rd race of the year. He could be a threat when playoff time comes around. I was saying in the draft, he was a steal that late in the draft. Felt like he should have been a first-round talent, and he's proven my prediction right now as he's won his 3rd race of the year, 4th for B-Tron Racing as a team, and that will promote them to the most successful team this season so far here in A squared. I was trying to think of the next word there, but A squared was the word I was looking for. So as John Hagen burns it down here, doesn't want to try to scratch up the Carolina Beagle, the Carolina Blue machine, not Beagle, B-Tron's Carolina or UNC machine. Not a long celebration for here. Obviously, fuel may have been a slight concern, but it looks poised. He'll be okay as he will now burn it down a little bit more here. As that is your race winner, John Hagen, as he has won this race here. Not much of a longer burnout for him. So, while we have this opportunity, as we see the drivers going to file in and take positions, we are actually going to take a quick look at the results here, and then we'll get ready for the interviews. So we'll take 1 second here to take a quick look at the race results here. Just need to make sure this is all checked out, because don't want just in case SDK decides to be a bit of a problem child. We'll take a look here. So we'll take a look at the final results here. If it decides to show. There we go. John Hagen. We'll take a look after the interviews too, but we'll take a look now. John Hagen will take the race win with Seth Wansing in 2nd, Lilacs here at 3rd, Pacey Wygant 4th, Brandon Featherplace 5th, Jonathan Adams 6th, Daniel Michelle 7th, Austin Mongold 8th, Stefan Oberstadt 9th, Dale Markowski, good drive by him the past couple weeks, will get a top 10. With Proudfoot 11th, Feemster 12th, Gaiman 13th, Wright 14th, and Sears your top 15. Millet, George, Sharp, Painter, and Hawk will round out the top 20. As we move a little bit further down the field here, we'll have Brian Pennell, Jeremy Brao, just couldn't catch it by, but the first one down, so I'm going to put a lap down. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, Josh Battles, Patrick Obersat, 25th, with James Kerr, Ryan Gomes. Now we're getting the drivers that retired, with James Kerr being the last car running on his own power. Ryan Gomes also running as well in 27th, with the first retiree of Richie Catania. Mark DeLayla, Kenneth Chaney rounding the top 30, all drivers that retired, along with LaJoy, Kruger, and Baxter rounding out the 33-car field here tonight. And we'll go quickly, we'll check the bracket at the end here as we wait for results to be official. But as you can tell by the math, if you check the numbers there, it should be provisionally Wanzing, Michelle, Featherplace, and Brunel all advancing to the next round, with Pennell taking on Wanzing and Michelle taking on Featherplace. So that should be a very interesting next round here. But we'll take a look at that bracket and the results one more time afterwards. But first, we got some things to look at first. We're going to take a look at the podium interviews here. So we'll see here who is ready to go for a podium interview here. We'll check the waiting room here. And it looks like, I believe, Zier is ready to go. We'll talk to her first if she is. Yes, she is. We'll go up 3-1 here, and we'll hear from Zier, then Wanzing, then Hagen, as we'll work our way up through the field here.
Way too aggressive. Hello.
I have a bad habit of pulling people out at the wrong time here, but hi, Lilac. This is Kevin the ABN Booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Alrighty. Well, obviously, a great race for you there. You made a good drive there from a okay qualifying, but obviously, with this being a race of endurance and a lot of things happening, we'll have to start at the very beginning. So obviously, I'll start off with how we saw passing seemed to be a bit of a tricky thing out there, as it seemed to be a bit of a trouble. So how was the track out there for you? Were you able to really carve for the field, or did you really have to hope that tire advantages played out to make spots move?
Well, to start, I found that I could make moves on the outside in turns 1 and 2, especially. 3 and 4 was trickier, but in 1 and 2, I could get around. I could go in behind someone and get to their outside, and then almost clear them off the corner. I was having that good of a run, but then we got tangled up in a wreck that, unfortunately, I tried to repair it and not use the fast repair, and it was just too junk, so I ended up going a lap down after that, but luckily I was able to get the lucky dog, and then I took my fast repair at the end of stage 1.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then it was just about managing risk for the rest of stage 2, and I stayed in the back, and I was going to try to save and not pit, but I couldn't, so I did a real quick splash with no tires and stayed on the lead lap.
Mm-hmm. Because we saw.
And that's.
Go ahead. Yeah, you got more you want to add there, Lilac?
No, that's okay. I was just saying that set me up for the final stage to actually start racing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because how long this race was, I kind of even forgot for a second there that incident happened. The first caution was you and Emma Kruger in an incident, and you obviously tore up the front end. But yeah, you were racing out of fast for that. What was the last 2 stages? So you definitely were on edge throughout those last 2 stages. Speaking of the fuel economy here, obviously with being one of the longer races on the calendar, fuel was definitely a concern. Obviously, you saw in stage 2, you came in late, and then you took a risky strategy by coming. I believe you stayed out after the next caution came in, and you took the track position, got caught lucky. So I guess was strategy playing out there? Kind of what I guess was going through your head with strategy in this race, right? Because we're being so long.
Mainly, trying to save tires because we had limited sets in the longer race, so I only took tires at the first and second stage, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had 2 sets left after that. So we got a run of like 15 laps and then a caution, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be weird. So I did take tires there because we could go from that spot, we could go on 1 more pit stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a pretty decent long run and had the caution come out again exactly when we could go to the end right from there, barely. And so I took tires there, but I thought, this is bad if we get a caution because it's my last set. And I was just hoping it would go green. But luckily, through all that cycling out, somehow I got track position and started up front on the last restart. And actually had almost as good a pace as the leaders for once, which was good. usually focus on long run pace, but for a lot of times that gets you too far behind if you let them go at the start. So I tried to push a little bit on this one and keep up with them, and that actually worked out okay. I might have burned up my right front a little bit at the end there. It was struggling. I had to start shifting, and even hit the wall off the floor once, but was just barely able to hang in there, and I got a good run on the 00, and maybe like a little too. I'm like, I don't know. I was pretty aggressive on trying to squeeze under him exiting 4, or in the center of 3 and 4. So luckily he gave me room, and we lived. That was probably maybe too risky, but it worked out because I got 3rd place at the end.
Yeah, no, that's right. Obviously, you could say on that point, but obviously, sometimes you got to be aggressive. This track makes something happen. As long as you didn't junk them or yourself, you could say maybe the move was good, at least in some respective, but at least you're showing that it may have been a bit aggressive. But hey, when the chips are down, you got to push towards the front. Obviously, again, you kind of went through the perspective that I was going to ask maybe something about the last couple laps, but you obviously kind of talked about your battle with Pacey there in those last couple laps. So I guess I'll move nicely on to the next question here. Is obviously you've been a very strong car this season so far, second in the regular season points without a win. So how has your been form of late here? You've been very consistently strong. Maybe not this is your first podium of the year, but you've been very consistently strong in the top 5, and you think that's going to be a strong factor for you coming in the rest of the season?
I mean, I hope so. That's what I live on is consistency, and haven't always had the top speed, the top flight speed. Today was like the closest I felt like I've been to that. I've been working on that to try to get better at it. But yeah, if I can't get a win, then I got to get in on points, and it's looking good so far for that. So I'm gonna keep working on just trying to get top 10s every race.
Well, they're obviously repeat winners. That's definitely making that path a little bit easier. Obviously, if you are here next week, which I assume you definitely will be at the very least, how do you feel about Worldwide Techway, aka Gateway, as a track? And do you feel like that's a track you could be strong at as well?
That's an interesting one. I'm okay there. I don't know if I'm real good, but like I can do all right. Just hope it goes green because it's kind of a difficult track. The next gen kind of gets loose there suddenly, and you tend to get a lot of spins and cautions. But hopefully everyone will be able to avoid that when we get there.
Hopefully that is the case. You always love to see good, clean racing. Obviously, last question here is obviously it is ABN tradition. If there's anyone you want to thank, family, friends, sponsors, whatever, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to ABN for broadcasting it. Thanks to ARCS for putting it on, and Residential Racing teammates. They're good teammates and always supportive, and we work together pretty well. So thanks to them, and thanks to all the fans at home.
Fair enough. Thank you for your thank you for your words there, Lilac Zier, and hope you have a good rest of your week. And maybe we'll be talking to you next week at Gateway.
Thanks.
All right. And that was our 3rd place finisher, Lilac Zier. We'll move on nicely now. That will take us to our 2nd place finisher. We'll hear from Seth Wanting was 2nd place, as I saw a few other drivers in the waiting room. So we'll go with Seth Wanting. We'll hear his thoughts on his 2nd place here today. Seth, this is Kevin, the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Hey, long time no hear from you, but obviously a very eventful race for you. You're one of the biggest movers of the race, but obviously we'll start off with beginnings. Every story has a beginning. Again, I asked Zier the same question. I'll ask you the same question as well. How was the track out there? Because it seemed like passing was a bit of you had to wait for the car ahead of you to kind of get something done or for you to do something. So how was the track out there for your perspective?
I thought the track was good. It was a little tight in 3 and 4. I don't think iRacing has quite figured out how 3 and 4 actually runs, but it still has that little kick in the middle of it if you enter too low, and I don't know how some of them were making that work, but overall I thought it was good. Once the sun went down, the top came in too, which was nice, and you wouldn't abuse your stuff. I mean, you could race the top. It probably looked like follow the leader just because if you went up top and heated up your tires for 2 laps, and you were probably done for on the run. But I thought the track race good.
Yeah, it definitely looked all right there. It just did seem a little bit from the booth. I was speculating a little bit follow the leader in some regards, but at least the track was not slippery or kind of infectious like last week at Dover. Moving on, obviously we saw in stage 1 you were kind of up and down through moments, kind of just buzzing through. But you also saw that instant on pit lane at the end of pit lane 1 where you spun it out of exit when you hit the bad bump. But I wanted, speaking on pit lane here, we obviously saw fuel economy was a bit of a factor here with drivers having to save fuel and make magical numbers. So kind of take us through stage 2. You came in early, but you took 2 tires in comparison to Game and taking 4. So obviously, I think that was, or you only took fuel only, I should say. So in your ideology, why, like Gaiman took 4, were you trying to save a set for the finish, or what was kind of going through that call there?
Yeah, I wanted an extra set there. I wanted to go into stage 2 with 2 sets of tires because really stage 2 was going to be broken up into 2 pit stops as well because I think we went green with 60 to go, something like that. Not even that. I think it was more like 80 to go. So just trying to save a set. But yeah, I had a really fast car in the first 2 stages. Just was learning what you could and couldn't do when the track transitioned from day to night and got hot and got cold, and how some people were racing and how to set your pace and keep the right front on the car. And middle of stage 2 into stage 3, and stage 3 I really came to life. I felt like there.
Yeah, you definitely found the form late. Obviously, we're gonna keep going on with the question there. Obviously, you played a strategy right. You stayed out. You got the caution call your way, and you obviously made that strategy work. Got the track position, and then when we got that last green flag run there, we saw obviously to the finish when 160 happened. Everyone was good to go on fuel. You were kind of just waiting back behind Wyatt and Proudfoot. You fell down to 4th, and you were slowly carving way up the field. And then you were just sitting there patiently behind Proudfoot and Wyatt, and eventually a hole opened up, and you went mad dash, like a mad scramble to the line. So take us through that move that you did on Wyatt and Proudfoot at the same time coming to the tri-oval.
They were leaning on each other off of 3 and 4, and I wanted to help my teammate there, but there was a couple times where it didn't line up right, and I sat back and saved my right sides and saved my race car. I honestly thought I wasn't shifting at all, and I know they were, and I know Proudfoot ran out of gas, and I was hoping all 3 of them would really. And then yeah, they washed up, and I rode the elevator top to bottom and got by him and set my sights on John. And from there, I got to John pretty quickly, and I was trying to wait and, set him up, let him keep burning his stuff, maybe burn up some more fuel. And he started protecting the top on entry, which I'm sure you saw. I made that top line work a couple times when people weren't really going up there, and he took that away because he noticed that, and I couldn't get back to him. Apparently, I got work to do. Apparently, I suck. I thought for sure they burned up their stuff, and I was going to kind of drive right by them, but they in fact did not. So, yeah, I guess I got work to do. Got to get back and maybe get better at saving some tire there, or maybe driving hard and still saving tire. Hell, I don't know. It's pretty incredible what John and Brandon and Pacey were able to do up there, and I felt like I was in the top 5 there from stage 2 on. So good night. It's nice to run up front and actually finish where I felt like I deserved to finish. It's been well documented by you guys and some others that I've had some pretty awful luck this year. So run up front and led laps and just haven't got the finishes to show for it. So nice to do that and build on from the momentum and keep working from there.
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head. You've had a very up and down season here. You've had some good runs. You haven't been the most snake bitten, but you've definitely been kind of struggling a bit here. But obviously a win, not a win, but a good podium here can put you in the right direction. And obviously we talked about it last season where you got your win at Kentucky and it kind of snowballed and it kept going to eventually you made the Final Four. So you're definitely a driver that can definitely keep it knocking and keep it going. But I do actually have a quick question before I move on to the next one. You obviously said Proudfoot ran out. Was anyone else like you had a concern of fuel there, or were you comfortable you could make it to the finish?
Oh, I was comfortable. I was about 4 or 5 to the good. But again, I wasn't shifting. A lot of guys were shifting, especially later in the run or the whole run. And so not shifting, and I was lifting up the Coca-Cola signs on both the back straightaways and keeping the tire on it and trying to keep the fuel in it and let it roll down in there and let it get set. So I'm sure a couple guys were close. I'd be interested to hear what Hagen was on fuel. But, yeah.
Yeah, you'll probably hear from that quite shortly when I'll probably ask them the same question. But moving on a little bit further down the line here, obviously, again, with this podium finish, you ended up getting yourself probably promote yourself into the top 16 into the playoff right now. Obviously, with maybe not as much of a cushion you probably like, but at least you're back in. But more importantly, with this performance, you were able to beat Pacey, as you and Pacey obviously were fighting in the bracket challenge there, and you have, bearing any penalties or anything else, unofficially, you have advanced to face Ryan Pinnell in the next round, again, unofficially. So how do you feel? Obviously, first, your thoughts on your with advancing on this tournament. Do you think you can beat Ryan next week at Worldwide Techway? And in turn, how do you feel about Gateway as a track as well? Do you think it's a track that fits your strengths?
Yeah, I love Gateway. I've led a lot of laps there in A squared, and I've finished in the top three there pretty much every race we've been to on iRacing. Just haven't been able to get the job done, so I look forward to going there. And I think I made my first HTL start there as well and ran top five the whole night. So, um, yeah, looking forward to WWT and actually not too far from home, about 3 hours from me here in Peculiar, Missouri, up to St. Louis. But yeah, Ryan's always really good on strategy and making his way to the front, as you saw tonight. And Ryan's a lot faster this year, so it should be a fun battle, and we'll see who comes out on top of it. I love racing against Ryan, and good guy, and he's the one that makes this thing run. So I'm excited for it. But that was a tough battle with Pacey all night. Me and him had some really good racing, and we're glad to advance.
Yeah, it was two heavyweights fighting out to the end there, and you ended up getting the last slug in, and you'll move on. But obviously, again, can't discount anything, and we'll see if maybe you'll be competing for a final in 2 weeks' time here. But anyway, one more question, obviously, as well, is obviously, since it is ABN tradition, if there's anyone you want to thank, family, friends, sponsors, whatever, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Kevin, for broadcasting every week, and everybody at ABN. Thank you to Ryan and all my other admins in A Squared. Hard work we put in and getting it done. Thank you to everybody that comes out and races and watches. Thank you to Midwest Barbecue and Henderson Graphics as a new sponsor this year, and looked great. That Dale Earnhardt Jr. throwback looked awesome. Thank you to girlfriend and family watching at home. Great supporters of mine, and let me drive fake race cars on at night, and so that's a lot of fun. And just hope we can keep this rolling and start getting back to where I feel like I need to be and should be, and I'm capable of up there in the top 5 or 10, and hopefully click off a win. But man, it gets harder and harder. I feel like try to get a win, but I feel like the pace is there. Just got to put nights like tonight together, and when I'm in that spot again, just need to go about it a little bit better.
Yep, competition's very strong in this competition, but yeah, you show the field's quite strong, and as a two-time champion, we can never count you out when the situations are strong. But anyway, that will do it for me, but you have a good rest of your week, and hopefully, maybe we talk next week, maybe with a race win, or at the very least, advance to the next bracket challenge. So you take care, and have a good rest of your week.
Thank you, Kevin. Nice to talk to you again. Been a while.
Nice talk to you as well. Hopefully it won't be as long next time. But anyway, that will move us nicely on to our race winner. That will move us nicely to John Hagan. We'll hear from John Hagan right now and hear his thoughts on the race win. John, this is Kevin, the ABM booth. You got a copy?
I do.
All righty, we're going to move on to you now. And obviously, again, you had a very eventful race. You obviously put the thing on pole position. Obviously, the stats are a little bit out of date here. I'll have to fix that real fast. But, yeah, you put the thing on pole position. But we'll talk about the track conditions as well. So, again, you started out front. You ran quite strong, and you looked poised to at least win stage 1. So how was the track out there as well? Again, was clean air really important? Was passing a bit of a pain? How did the track feel out there to you?
Track felt good. I guess it was a little tight. I guess I didn't like it that tight, but it was tighter than I would have liked it. But that was also might have been because I hadn't been shifting. I was keeping it in fifth to save the tires. So whenever we did go green, I'd have a little bit more tire when I did start to shift. About 10 laps, 15 laps before the end of the run. So that's how I was running it, to keep the tires on it. And yeah, it was definitely hard to pass if you got somebody who made it their mission to not let you pass in front of them. But other than that, it was all right.
Yeah, I gotta ask this question. Obviously, we saw it at the end of stage 2. Obviously, with fuel concerns and whatnot. Were you trying to back the field down a little bit to try to hit a higher number of fuel economy? Were you just kind of letting it glide? What was going on in stage 2 there? Because I saw you were kind of like letting a little lax the more you do. So what was going on in stage 2 with you in that point? Because I ended up finishing second in stage 2, but it seemed like you were maybe playing it a bit more cautious, maybe to hit a number in the fuel economy.
No, I was just going to run it dry because I wasn't going to take tires. The only two that took tires were Millet and Gaiman. That's why Gaiman had that huge blow by and won the stage because he took tires, and that was his strategy for stage points. But I mean, I don't really wasn't saving, I guess, but I was just running chill because I had the long run pace compared to the field. I guess nobody had figured out how to keep the right front on it. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could say I backed it down, but not really. I was just cruising.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess from what I saw, it may be different, but obviously, again, from Wanzing's perspective, it was more of a fun track to pass it. But it seemed like here it was more of a situation where you had to follow the leader. So sometimes the broadcast maybe tells a little different of a lie, a little different perspective than what the race goes on. That's why we have these interviews. Moving on a little bit further down, obviously, stage 3, you were basically one of the strongest cars all night. I think you led the most laps. Your main competitor was obviously Zach Millett, and then Zach Millett obviously had a bit of a bad strategy call and all that. But you kept it going strong, and then for the last laps, you were just hanging out strong and running. So I guess my question is, take us to those last 25 laps. In your mirror, you were seeing Wygant and Proudfoot side by side, and then soon enough, Wanzi makes a big move, and now he's chasing you down. So take us those last couple laps. Were you concerned that maybe you get caught, or you're like, I got my right front saved so much that I don't feel like I'm going to get caught?
So the first half of the stage, I don't know if Proudfoot took 2 or none, but he took something for track position,
Mm-hmm.
and he made it very, very hard. But to his credit, the last stage, you're not going to let somebody pass. He definitely made it very hard to pass. That's for sure. Once I got by him, I mean, even when I was trying to pass him, I wasn't trying to overexert my stuff. I just wanted to hang on to the right front, and I burnt up more of my right front than I would have liked trying to get by him anyways. So that's really why I didn't have as much saved for the end. But even so, for those last 25 laps, once I got completed and they were battling in my mirror, I was just keeping it in 5th. Also, at least for me, because I was close-ish on fuel, if I started shifting, it probably would have been about half a lap short. But without shifting, I was able to get an extra lap out of the tank, so I was about 1 to the good at the finish. So it was really just mainly protect fuel, protect tires, and then when Wangzing got there, that's when I turned on the switch. Whenever you get close enough, I'd put it up high so he can't get to my right rear, and I started shifting to get that extra little bit of pace out of it at expense of the tires. And it worked out, and we pulled a little gap, and it was
Obviously,
fine there.
Obviously, I saw that because I was wondering about fuel concerns. Because obviously, the run we saw at max in stage 2 was about 45 laps. You obviously made the push, and obviously, Wanting was good on fuel. But it seems to hear that you were at least close, but you made it end up working out quite nicely. But again, I guess my question, I guess I'll follow up on that one. Was there any concerns you think you'd run out, or when we were like with 40 to go when we took the last restart, was there any concerns you would make the number? Did you have to do a little saving, or were you like, I'm gonna make it no matter what happens?
I was saving under that caution just because I wanted to have enough fuel when we went green. I had like a half a lap window when we went green to the good. So I mean, oh, I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah, fuel saving was the fuel.
I was not shifting in order to save, but I was not actively like clutching coasting.
Okay, so you felt like you did not have to save. I think Proudfoot ran out, but obviously some other drivers were very good. So just kind of hearing your thoughts on that perspective.
Well, the drivers that ran out, they were shifting the entire run. That's why I didn't shift.
Fair enough. That good perspective there. But anyway, yeah, so if you shift, obviously, you burn more fuel because you're revving the engine more. But anyway, continue on down the line of thought here. Obviously, I would say the bracket challenge, obviously, you're no longer in the bracket challenge, so I'll ask this question instead. With 9 weeks to go, you now have tied for the most wins so far this season with 3. And with you and B-Tron, you have the most wins in the Constructors with 4. So I guess I'll throw out this question. With 9 weeks to go for the playoff starts, obviously, you don't have to give names if you don't want to, but do you think if there's anyone in this field right now that's like, who is the strongest competitor in your opinion in this field right now that you feel like brings the most threat to you?
I'll give 3 or 4. I know from what I've seen firsthand, Millett is strong. With him, you have to be precise on track, and you have to make sure you're hitting your marks. Just be better at him than saving tires, or better at him at the short run pace. So Millett is really strong everywhere. Basically, Wygant might be asleep. He's very aggressive. He learns. He will solidify himself in the top 5 week in, week out. So I like him, and I like Proudfoot too. Maybe not so much on the track all the time, but off the track he's awesome, and on the track he's really strong too. So those are probably the 3 that I'd say are the strongest that I've seen this championship.
Fair enough. We'll see if obviously that holds true. Maybe that will be the final four in about 9 weeks to the playoffs. Add another 4 of that, so maybe 12, 13. But obviously, things can obviously change and fluctuate as time goes on. Speaking of next week, if you are here, obviously you've sometimes missed a couple weeks due to personal and other reasons. With Gateway, Worldwide Techway, how do you feel about that track? If you are here next week, do you think it's a track you can maybe add another win to your total with?
I'm going to go to school this week. I have not ran much at Gateway. Like at Charlotte, I've run a bunch, but Gateway I have not. I think I bought it for a truck league and ran it once. So I'm going to go through a learning curve with that one. But yeah, I'll be there. Last week I was at the NASCAR race, so that's why I couldn't make it.
Fair enough. That's definitely puts the field a bit unnoticed there. That hey, you're going to be there next week, and you could definitely go into school, and that could be quite interesting to see how it all plays out. But obviously, since it is ABN tradition, if anyone want to thank family, friends, sponsors, whatever, the floor is yours. Take it away.
I want to shout out my beautiful girlfriend for watching the stream and supporting me every time I race. Shout out B-Tron Racing, Adam, Breo, and Concord for being there and helping us out. PBR with the collaboration there to help out during the week. Shout out John Smeal for painting the scheme I ran tonight and all the schemes I run here at A Squared. Shout out my other painter, Jacob Schengle. They're both amazing painters. And shout out y'all for putting on beautiful broadcast. Shout out you, Kevin.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, John, for those kind words at the very least. But yeah, that is that. If again, we maybe talk to you next week. If not, you have a good rest of your week, and yeah, you take care.
Thank you.
And that is our race winner, John Hagan. And that will also do it tonight for the podium interviews. So we will pull up the results one more time here. Just give me a second to find the right graphic here, and make sure SDK didn't crash, because SDK can always be it always seems to be a bit finicky here. So we'll take one more look here at the race results, if this works. Let me give you a second. If not, okay, that actually pulled off. Good. So we'll take a look here at the race results here one more time. Looks like it's not loading on my screen, but it's loading on the stream, so that's all that matters at the very least. So we'll take a look one more time at the final results, and then last look at the bracket challenge. John Hagan takes the race win. Wanzing, Zier, Wygent, Feather place your top 5. Help if I take the podium thing off the screen too. Give me just 2 seconds here. Boink. There we go. So yeah, Zier, Wygent, Feather place top 5. Adams, Michelle, Mongold, Oberstedt, Monkowski, your top 10. Proudfoot, Feemster, Gaiman, Wright, Sears, your top 15. Millet, George, Sharp, Painter, Hawk, your top 20. We'll move a little bit further down the field here. Then you got Pennell, Breo, Lawrence, Battles, Oberstadt, Patrick Oberstadt, your top 25. James Kerr, Ryan Gomes, Richie Catania, Mark DeLela, your top 29. And then the finish off the field, you got Kenneth Cheney, Mark LaJoy, Emma Kruger, and Ross Baxter rounding out the 33 drivers to take the flag here today. So that will do it here for that. Actually, we'll take one more look at the bracket challenges. We do have the new updated little image here that I made. There, you'll see it right here. We'll actually make it, I wish I could make it a little more full screen. Is that the right one? Nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry. That's the right one. There we go. So there's the full graphic here. You can see we'll make it nice a little bit bigger here just so the people at home can see. There we go. Try to make it take some screen. Actually, it's a little too big. Yeah, there. There we go. So anyway, yeah, you can see right there, Pennell, again, unofficial. Obviously, A Squared will have penalties and other things to go through. But if the results do end up holding, it will be Pennell, Wanzing, Rowe battling up at Gateway, and Michelle and Featherplace fighting in the other spot here in the Worldwide Techway. For the 2 drivers that finished ahead of the other one, will go into New Hampshire, and they will duke it out, where the fastest of the 2 will take home the bracket challenge victory and the prize that's rewarded to it. But we'll have to deal with that next week. But anyway, that will do it for me here tonight. Obviously, tomorrow, ABN 1, you can tune in, and you will see the HTL qualifying in duels for the Daytona 500. It's going to be quite interesting. Me and Joe, I believe, will be on the call. Christina will be the one producing it. It will be a quite hunky-dory affair. Maybe could have used a better word than hunky-dory, as it sounds very more 1920s. But regardless, it will be a very fun time. It should be some great production. Obviously, some of the drivers you've seen here tonight, even the drivers in the podium, Hagan, Zier, Proudfoot, Wygent will all be there next week, and it should be quite fun here. So keep an eye on the ABN 1 for that. Other than that, though, is to finish up the point here, Champ Car, obviously, I believe, is this Wednesday. I'll confirm the calendar real fast. They should be there this week. Yep, they will be at Milwaukee. So keep an eye on ABN 1 for Milwaukee Mile. That will be April 24th, and only a couple weeks till the ABN 500. And make sure you tune back here on Sunday on ABN 2, where we'll see the drivers competing at Gateway. We'll see who can maybe punch their ticket into the playoffs in due time. But that will do it for me here, Kevin Young. I'm ready to sign off. Here's been a long race. So everyone in broadcast that stayed with to the end, thank you for joining us. And you all have a good rest of your evening, and I will have a good evening as well. So take care, and good night.